Hello and welcome to episode 64 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I am one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the one, the only, Perry Burkham.
Super TNP 64.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it only makes sense, episode 64, that we'd be talking about a popular Nintendo system on that episode, wouldn't we?
Yep, the Nintendo DS.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's I can't believe it. It's our 64th episode.
Who would ever thunk we'd make it this far, you know?
Not me.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be done after about 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Nope, but we're here. Yep, and that's the topic of the show. We are gonna do our top 5 favorite Nintendo 64 games, and just talk about the 64 in general.
Yeah, I've got.
I mean, wacky controller and whatnot.
I've got a pretty good N64 Christmas story that can sort of tie in with our little Christmas music that we've got going on for the month of December. So
beautiful.
I figured we could share that as well, which would be a good one.
Because next week is our Christmas episode.
Hoo-wee!
Can't believe it.
The second one.
I gotta ship out my present to you.
Yeah, me too.
Alright.
I guess I gotta get you a present before I can ship it out, though.
Yep. Okay, well, before we get to that, though, we have a jam-packed show today. I hope you have your pajama pants on, because it's a packed episode.
Ooh-wee, it sure is.
Yeah. So, Casey, let's start with you.
With me, all right.
Yep.
So I've got a couple games I'm going to talk about here, and the first one is a game I talked about last week. So many of you will guess I'm going to be talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to talk much about it. I just want to give a little update on how it's going, and something I'm finally really appreciating for the first time with Xenoblade, and that is just how good the portable mode is to go into handheld and just be able to play wherever and whenever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I bring the Switch with me daily to work, so I do play it when I can resist the old car nap. I do definitely play some games in the car, but...
Now, question.
Yes.
When you take a car nap, do you recline your seat?
Oh, yes.
And then just sleep on your back?
Yeah, so here, the evolution of the car nap. I used to do, like, because when I go to bed, I sleep on my stomach, right? I'm a stomach sleeper. So, in the car, you can't really do that, you know? I have, and it's not very comfortable. So I would just sleep on my side, right? And then I would always hurt my neck would be sore. I'd just get really uncomfortable. So now I've perfected just like I recline it all the way back. I pull my winter hat over my eyes.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 blankets in the car, right? So I use one over me, and then I use the other one for a pillow. And, oh, baby.
On your back?
Yeah, I'll put like a pillow for my head, you know, a little bit, and then
but are you laying on your back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it took a little getting used to sleeping on my back, but
I mean, you got it down now.
Oh, dude, I don't want to, brag or sound too cocky here, but I am a master napper, man. There are times where I set my alarm, like I'm on the lunch break, or my 15, whatever, get out to the car. I'm like, all right, I got like 12 minutes. And I'll set my alarm, and I'm like, for a minute or so, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fall asleep. And then I wake up out of it feels like a night's long slumber, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, God. And then I'll be like, oh, man, there's still like a minute left.
There you go.
It's great. I love it.
See, it's funny because, like, like, you know, teaching music lessons, like sometimes someone will cancel and I'll have like a half hour and it's like, should I try to take a nap right now? And then I do, and then I wake up and I go, well, now I feel like I was hit by a car, and it's awful.
Yeah, see,
it's like right when I get into my REM sleep, you know, the rapid eye movement, and so you get into and it's awful.
Well, that's funny. So I mean, normally if I take a nap on my actual, you know, hour lunch break, it's hit or miss. Sometimes, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, oh, that was the worst decision of all time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like trash now.
That's me every day. Yep.
But there are times, and it's usually with the shorter, more snappy naps. Snappy naps. Those are the ones, I wake up feeling more refreshed. So sometimes I like to line up my 15-minute break not too far away from my lunch break, so that I can sort of get that 15-minute nap in, get like re-energized, and then I'll be good to play on my lunch break. But anyway,
you know what you need? Yeah. You need George Costanza's desk.
Yes. Oh, that'd be perfect. Where he sleep right underneath it with the pillow.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, so packed episode. I think we've talked enough about our car naps. Xenoblade. It's just
snappy naps.
Yeah, our snappy naps. Xenoblade. It's just, I'm really enjoying it. You know, I'm getting to the point now where I've unlocked every little sub menu on my within the menu. You know, for a little bit I had one that was still grayed out, and now I've unlocked that, and the story's starting to come together with some like answering enough questions to sort of make it like, okay, this is starting to make sense. And in true Xenoblade fashion, they're gonna throw probably 8 different curveballs at you down the road. But at least now we sort of have like, okay, I understand what's going on. This is what our task is at the moment, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and then I've just been appreciating the handheld play because, you know, usually when I'm home, I'll just play docked because, you know, my computer is right here in the living room. TV's right there. It's just very easy. But with football on Sunday and stuff, and Xenoblade being a game where, I mean, obviously there's plenty of story spots, but there are definitely areas where it's like, all right, I'm just going to be working my way through a bunch of enemies here, and just to sort of, you know, and the battles in Xenoblade 2, you know, can last, you know, not super long, but they take a couple minutes to even just, you know, random enemies to take them out. So I was really just like being able to lay on the couch and play and watch, you know, have football or hockey in the background as a, you know, a nice sort of compliment. So I've just really been enjoying it, and I'm just going to continue to chug along because I know I've probably got many an hour left.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know, is it a return to form? Is it what you wanted? Is it Xenoblade 1, 2?
Yes, no, yeah, this is exactly right up my alley. It is, it's, all right, we've got a storyline, and you've got your main quest, and you're pushing forward, but there are those opportunities to jump off to the side and do some side quests, but you don't have to, like they did in X, you know, where it's like, oh, well, you got to do these 3 side quests to make the main quest move on. Well, it's like, well, then really it's not a side quest, you know, like,
right,
it's mandatory for pushing it forward, so why don't you just mark it as such so I don't have to be running around, you know, looking for these things.
Right, and the other part is the story. Is it more focused on the story as well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Okay. This is very much like you said. Yeah, this is a true sequel, if you will. You know, where X is like I mean, there are a lot of similarities, of course, with the battle system and stuff, and you know, obviously different, like the no pawn and all that. Return. But, no, this is definitely a sequel. Not in the sense a direct sequel, you know, like the stories aren't intertwined or anything. Well, it's a stand-alone.
Well, it can't really intertwine.
Yeah.
If you've beaten the original one.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, like, this is exactly what I wanted it to be, so I'm cool. Thoroughly enjoying it. Like I said, I probably won't talk about it too much more moving forward until I sort of wrap it up, but that might not be for another, you know, month and a half at this rate with review games and such.
Right. Cool, man. Well, thanks for the Xeno
update.
thanks for the snappy nappy update.
No problem. Now, speaking of review games, you've got quite a few to talk about, don't you?
Yes. Yep. Since you skipped over me last week and you said that no one would care about what I played,
we're gonna do that just again this week. All right. So my next.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
People need to hear me.
No. My therapist told me to say no to you, and I'm sitting here and no. Okay. We're gonna talk about Riptide Gp Renegade. Alright, so it's Riptide GP Renegade. Now, what do you think that is?
That sounds like water sports.
Yep, jet ski, Grand Prix, illegal, Renegade.
Do you hit anyone with pipes?
You don't. I wish there was combat in the game.
Like Rampage?
Like Road Rash.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, man, Road Rash, man. What a great game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, okay, so what this is Wave Race. Okay, the best way to put this, let me set it up for you like this. It's Wave Race 64. I haven't played Blue Storm, so maybe that. But Wave Race 64 combined with fast racing. RMX.
Okay.
Okay.
So does it have an element where you're switching like boosters or something?
It doesn't have that. It's very fast paced, and it's very nice looking, and it's hard to explain why it reminds me of Fast, but it does. Maybe the style.
I was gonna say I'm looking at screenshots, and I can totally see where there's like a comparison, like that one where you're sort of going. It looks like in a city, maybe under a couple overpasses. Yep. Like it seems like something, that Fast would also have that kind of area.
Yeah. Now, okay. So the hook for this game. So it's a racing game. Kind of like Mario Kart. You know what I mean? I mean, great, but with an actual single player mode. Mm-hmm. But the hook is when you go off ramps and jumps, you do tricks, and when you land the tricks, you'll get boost added to your boost meter, and then you can use that. Just like Fast, you know what I mean? Kind of like how when you hit the things, you'll get boost, and then you can use it at your own disposal. How to use the boost. So, yeah. So the more complicated, longer tricks you do, the bigger the boost you'll get when you land them, and that's like totally key to winning. I mean, because the game actually you can play the whole campaign with 3 different difficulties, which is really cool. You can do easy or medium or hard. I played it on medium, and it got really hard. So, but the coolest thing, but it's really cool, is that there's tons of replay value because in the game is a really cool RPG-like upgrade system to where every race you'll gain experience, and every time you level up, you'll get BP points, and also like you'll get cash when you finish races too, and when you finish objectives, and then you can use that to buy upgrades for your jet ski, and then you use the BP points to upgrade your guy, and learn new moves, and make it.
I was gonna say that's sort of cool that you can learn new moves.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like you have to. Like, it's cool because it's an all optional, but okay, I shouldn't say you don't have to. But for instance, there is a you can get gold, silver, bronze medal, right, for each single level of the campaign. Mm-hmm. But like for instance, they have different modes. Like there's racing. There is one where it's called elimination, where like every like 7 or 10 seconds, it'll have a little countdown, and then the person in last place will get kicked out of the race. So it goes all the way down to 1. So I mean, it's racing, but you can't ever be in last. Like, you don't ever want to be in last place ever, or you might get kicked out.
Yeah, I believe F-Zero for like Super Nintendo does that, where it's like, yeah, the top 7 get to finish this lap, and if you're if you're out of that top 7, then you're done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's cool progression.
Yeah, and so that's really fun. And then the other mode they have is it's like a trick mode. So the idea of you get points based off of the different tricks you do. You can't spam the same trick. So for instance, if there's like one that's, let's say there's one that's 4 seconds long, and there's ones that are 2 seconds long. You'll get 50 points for the 2-second ones, but you'll get 100 points for the 4-second ones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you want to do the more complicated tricks, but you can't keep spamming the same one. You won't get that many points if you keep going. It'll just keep getting smaller and smaller.
Returns, yeah.
Exactly. So you need to learn new moves, and so you want to spend the points on doing that if you want to get gold, getting you more points, getting you more experience. So a really good system that sets you up as you're going. And on top of that, tons of customization. Like, I think that my guy, I had an emblem. It was a mug of coffee was his emblem, and I liked that. But then on top of everything, it has this really funny, it's set in the future. There are jet ski policemen, and also, like, while you're getting chased by the police, and there's this one level where I was going and battleships come up and just start attacking the city that you're illegally racing through, with police chasing after you. And I think the police are a lot of fun, because, like, they'll come in and they'll try to, like, get in front of you and, like, knock you off and stuff like that. So really Renegade, right? Really extreme, funny setting. But it's amazing because this game has local multiplayer, up to four-player local multiplayer. Runs great. You can play online. There's online multiplayer too, like with your friends and everything.
I was gonna say, it has the friends option.
It has the friends option.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And this thing is, I believe it's $9.99, and it's like a fully functional, fun jet ski racer. So it's kind of unbelievable. Like, I could see this game being like a $30 or $40 retail game, and it's $10 on the eShop, and it has all that. So it's a really good, fun game. Go ahead and check out my review at NWR if anyone's interested in it. But yeah,
I was gonna say that maybe that's why it also reminds you of Fast RMX. Is just the fact that it doesn't look like it should be a relatively cheap downloadable game. You know.
Yeah, and the thing is that this is like there's ports of it on mobile too, but. Yeah, but I think it's a different game a little bit. Like, I think that there's a mobile version and there's a console version, and this is the console version. Now, what I do want to say is that when you play it handheld, the frame rate is a little choppy. Not enough to completely ruin the experience, but enough to be kind of annoying. So keep that in mind. And there could be, you never know, there could be a patch or something, but it runs great on docked. So
awesome.
Yeah, so once again, I just want to repeat it, and this is for Dan. Riptide GP Renegade. There it is. There's my pitch.
Boom.
Yeah. Now, we're going to move on to friend of the show's newest, or I guess Switch debut.
Yes, sir. The Mutant Mudds Collection. God, I love that music, man. I love that music. But yeah.
Oh, I know. It's so good.
Yes, the collection. It's finally hit the Switch. I believe, you know, if you have any history with Mutant Mudds, you know that it's been on just about every console underneath the sun, which is a good thing because it's a great game. You know,
it should be.
So yeah. We figured, I think, you know, that it was going to be coming to the Switch at some point or another, but what was a surprise, and I think there were people who were probably saying, like, oh, it should be, a double pack, with the Super Challenge, but we were surprised to find that it was a collection with Bomb Monkey reskinned and rebranded as Mud Blocks. So now you get 3 games for the price of 1. So I wrote the review for a Nintendo World Report. I actually just wrapped that up earlier today, and I'm just gonna say it holds up.
It stinks. Yeah. Oh.
No, these games, I guess Super Challenge is probably only about 2 years old at this point, but the original Mutant Mudds came out.
I think it's only like a year and a half.
2012. It's getting up. Not terribly old, but a 5-year-old game. So no, it plays well still. The game, tight controls. It's a platformer with some shooting. It doesn't, it's not fast paced. Like, I would say it's more akin to like the classic
Gargoyle's Quest.
Yeah, or like classic Mega Man.
Totally.
How it's like you move methodically through the levels. You know what I mean? And it's not so much, where like Mega Man X, where it's like, you get the dash and you're blasting people, and the focus is definitely more on the platforming, and
it's just like Gargoyles.
Yeah, and enemies are in the way, so they make some of the platforming more difficult, especially when you get into Super Challenge, which is just. I've played through Super Challenge completely. I beat it all when it came out on the 3DS. And I've forgotten how tough and brutal that game is, because I went through Mutant Mudds relatively quick. I didn't do like all the crazy like looking for the secret exits and stuff, but I went through, got all the the 100 little diamonds in each level, beat all the levels, the extra levels, and it's maybe 2 hours to get through there. I mean, granted,
as your experience.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Granted, I've been through it once or twice before, but so I was like, okay, Super Challenge, like, I'm ready for this, like, and then oh man, I just got housed.
Really?
The first couple levels to get into because to me,
even the intro is hard.
Because for those who haven't played, so Mutant Mudds has it's a tough game, but it's fair. Like, it's not like a ridiculously insane levels, level design that's just like punishing. There are the secret levels that they're definitely more difficult than the original ones, but still not quite to the point of Super Challenge. Super Challenge is one where it's like you really need to learn the level. Like, you're gonna probably die a handful of times every level, and it's just about gaining that little bit of knowledge to keep pushing forward a little bit more until you get to the checkpoint, and then it's like, okay, now I can work on the back end of the level. But right. Super tough. The second one, Super Challenge, introduces bosses and like ghost house inspired levels, which are really cool. And then Mud Blocks is the first time I've ever actually played Bomb Monkey. I know you're a big fan.
Oh, Bomb Monkey is so good, and that's the thing I'm looking forward most to, because of the vertical and the touchscreen mode. Oh, baby.
Yeah, and what's really nice is how the entire collection has leaderboards. So, when you actually go into like Mutant Mudds, you can look at what's the best time for the first world, the second stage, and you can go in there and you can see where you rank in the world and also with your friends. And Mud Blocks.
Oh, I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, well, I'm #1 in the world, or at least I was the other day when I checked.
That's amazing. It was like I had the first level for Chicken Wiggle.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 out of 2, but but no, Mud Blocks is fun little puzzle arcade game where you need to drop blocks and sort of match them up in the colors in a line. So then this way, when you drop the bomb, you can sort of chain off each other, and you want to make sure not to let the blocks rise to the top of the screen. As Perry said, the vertical mode is really cool to play in. There's a couple fun modes within Mud Blocks too, like a rescue. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, there's tons of modes. I hope that they're all in there.
Yeah, like there's 2-player co-op. There's endless. There's a couple
on the same system, which is really cool. Which would be really, with the Joy-Cons, would be really cool too. Yeah,
no, it's like I said, it's really a great package. it runs really well on the Switch in both docked and handheld. You know, there was no chugging or no weird glitches I ran into.
Their games always run really well.
Yeah, no, it runs great. No like load times or anything. Like some of these weird retro style like sprite work games with long load times, I just don't understand. I'm like, what is going on? But
I know, and if you remember when I had Bomb Monkey, when I showed it on the show, I literally was so impressed with the load times that I started it up on my 3DS just to show you how long it takes to get into the game, and it's like almost instant.
It's like I turned it on and I'm in.
Yep, it's awesome.
But yeah, no, so
but that's so good for on the go. That's what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's such a great, and Bomb Monkey or Mud Blocks is such a fantastic in between. I got 2 minutes game. You know, like right now, my game for that is Revelations is the
couple like do a raid mode real quick.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. But that will be replaced with Mud Blocks.
But yeah, I mean, overall, the package is great. It has 3 very good games in there. They all run, like I said, smooth. You got the leaderboards. Like I said, the only really thing that is a disappointment is just the lack of stereoscopic 3D. And
yes,
you know, for me,
that definitely is.
I love
because
the
it's
3D.
Such a huge thing.
Yeah, I love the 3D, and I'm gonna miss that from the 3DS. But yeah, actually, in Mutant Mudds, it has, you know, the different planes. So like you're on, when you start the game, you're just sort of in the middle, and then you could jump to the background and the foreground, and in 3D that just really pops so well. And it's like in the review I said that it takes away something that was really special with the 3DS, and it still works on the Switch. It's not like it looks bad or anything, but it just doesn't have that specialness to it, you know?
Right. I mean, it has this cool blur effect, but yeah, it's what made the whole idea, like what we talked with Jules about, is like, you know, it's really highly inspired by Virtual Boy Wario Land, which is made because of the 3D, you know what I mean? So it's like it literally has stereoscopic 3D roots in the game, but that doesn't, like, it's unfortunate it's not there, but it's like if you didn't know about it, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, no, you're not going.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not going to see that jump to the foreground and be like, "Ew, it looks terrible," or you know what I mean? It just
I mean, it still looks cool, right? It's still a cool concept.
Oh no, without a doubt. Yeah, it just like I said, I know obviously the Switch can't play the 3D, but like that's the only thing that would keep me like, this is the ultimate way to play Mutant Mudds. You know what I mean? Like would be the Switch collection, but it's like, I mean, it's great because all 3 games are right there in that collection, but it's like, but you do miss out on that 3D, which is such a cool little feature. Yep. But no, otherwise, like I said, they still play very well and really fun games. So, and a good price for the collection, I think. Especially if you end up, I mean, I guess by the time you're listening to this,
I think it's too late now.
Yeah, it'll already be over.
I know we forgot to announce it last week, which I feel really bad about. But
honestly, for even $15, I think it's still a
no, I was gonna say $15 for 2 amazing platformers and an awesome puzzler game. Oh, it's so good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good.
Good stuff.
Cool. That's Mutant Mudds Collection for the Switch. Go download it right now. There's literally no reason not to.
Well, if you don't have the money.
Who doesn't have the money?
I'm sure plenty of people.
Well, speaking of not having any money, my next game that I'm going to talk about, that I did a review for, is Embers of Mirrim.
Now, this game looks cool.
This is a very cool looking game, and it's actually what made me want to review it. Like, looking at it, it's a side-scrolling platformer, where you play as this like mythical beast. It's kind of the way I like to say is it's like an owl mixed in with a cat mixed in with Spyro. But like not in a cartoony way. It's kind of that kind of a monster. or beast. And so you start off, and there's the black version, like blue eyes white dragon, and the red eyes black dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you slurping up what I'm spitting out?
I'm trying.
Okay. So there's two races here of beasts,
mm-hmm.
and so you kind of playing like you're controlling the black one, and it's going like from left to right on the screen, and then it goes to you're controlling the white one, and it's going from right to left, and eventually. And that might be backwards, but eventually they meet, and then they're like rival gangs, like they're like like hyenas and lions,
mm-hmm.
and so they fight. But as they're fighting, like these two of them, they're wrestling. As they're fighting, like this rock like rises up behind, like this ancient force rises up and fuses them together, and it's really cool because I didn't really know that going in, so maybe I'm kind of spoiling, but it's not. It's the whole point of the game, so I'm not really spoiling it. But it serves as a tutorial on the way there, like you're learning what each one does, because each one can do. So I'm
assuming
things.
You sort of switch between them depending on what the situation dictates.
Nope, that's a good question, but. So, for instance, the black one can do a butt stomp, basically, and then the white one can do like can glide, like a tanuki, or more like
a flying squirrel,
like an acorn. Yeah, exactly. And when you get together, you can do both at the same time. So it's like, so it literally is one beast, and it's like really cool looking. Now. Where the two things come into play, and where the main hook of the game is you can split apart into the embers. Now it's called Embers of Mirrim, and the embers. So Mirrim is the beast.
Which
the embers
one?
are. I'm the
kidding.
Beast that you're playing. Yeah, but the embers are the white and the black. Forces that kind of come apart. So you can basically if you hold ZL and ZR, then you can control each of them separately, as like you can what's the best way? You can like hover with them like with both analog sticks, and move them apart, and kind of like in the Animal Crossing game on Nintendo Land, where you control, and I know you haven't really played Nintendo Land, but it's where you control the two dog policemen. You control them both with each analog stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're controlling two things. So that's the puzzle gameplay. I mean, that's the challenging gameplay, where it's like you have to split up and go on separate paths and then meet back together. As you're playing.
Okay,
so
so that makes sense. That makes sense. So it would be on the same screen, right? But maybe you're like branched on two different paths.
Exactly. So now there is a limit to how far you can go apart, and then there's a limit to how long you can actually be in the air flying around. So that's where all the puzzles come into play. Now there are things that's like places where you can just stay infinitely in the air, so there's a lot of sections like that where you have to move around, but you can understand how they can use the challenges, right? Use that as a challenge going throughout the game. But it's just a very straightforward game. Going from then on, it's just you're traveling and you're going through all these gorgeous environments. You should check out my review, because I took some screenshots and they're amazing. Like, they're really cool looking. It's a really cool, fun take. It's a solid platformer first of all, but then it really keeps you engaged as you're playing, because it's very dynamic. The gameplay is because sometimes you're dealing with like jumping and like trying to jump over spikes, or the equivalent of spikes, and then you have to hurry up and then you have to float and dodge stuff with both of your embers and then land. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then if you do die, you go back, like it basically does automatic checkpoints like at screens, basically. Like you just go back a little bit. So there's no live system or anything like that. So a lot of times, like, I died, like, probably, like, the most I died, like, maybe, like, a dozen times, you know, which is a lot, I guess.
Noob.
But, yep. It gets pretty challenging. It gets pretty dang challenging. But there's really cool boss fights that you use your embers, you know. It really fuses everything together. Like, what?
Is it a long
not
game?
Intended. No. It's not a long game. I mean, it's about, you know, probably like around like 8 to 10 hours, depending on.
Yeah, but that's a healthy length. I feel like.
No, yeah. It's a great length. It doesn't overstay its welcome and stuff. A lot of fun. There are these little like you can also do some exploring around, and there's these little challenges where kind of like imagine doing connect the dots, but with two things at the same time. And you can't mess up. So they're used.
So there'd be like a white line and a black line, and they each need to follow it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And they're symmetrical patterns. So you're moving, you know, your thumbs in opposite directions and trying to match this, connect the dots and meet at the end. And they start off obviously easy, but there's some of them. There's this one where, you know, remember? I don't know if you did this in your grade school. But back in my day, people would make those S's, those cool-looking S's.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's like...
I know exactly what you mean.
Like two hexagons, like skinny hexagons on top of each other. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think everyone in the world has drawn one of those S's at some point.
They're pretty cool. I mean, they are cool. But, I mean, they have that... And I think, like, what is it? What do people say? Like, smile or something? Is that what they would do? Or anyway, I don't know what they'd spell with them.
Sucks.
But there's one of them.
And then you can put two of them in there.
Dude, I was working on one of those, on these little things that take 10 seconds to do. And I could not get this one. It had that design. And I was trying, because it's like, because what happens is the embers move in opposite directions, and then your thumbs, like, completely, like, you know, then you're suddenly moving up to go down and down to go up, but with two of them. And it's just like, my brain cannot wrap around this, and it's so hard. But finally I did. But I was like, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I should move on. But it's like, no, I can't move on. Like, I'm not letting this. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to move on. No, I'm not going to do it. Like, I did that, like, seriously, like, 10 times, and I finally got it. I'm like, whoo.
That's amazing.
But, yeah, they're great. So, once again, I really enjoyed this game as well. Embers of Mirrim. So, if that sounds cool to you, check it out in the eShop. Check out the review at NintendoWorldReport.com. And I believe, because Lemonade, I think he said there's a demo on the eShop, and I think that may be just for Australia, or maybe...
I don't know. I'm on Nintendo's website, and it says demo available on the North American one, so...
Well, there you go. I couldn't download it, but it might be because I have the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be strange that they wouldn't let you download it anyway, but...
I don't know. Like, I didn't see the option. But anyway, I was in a hurry.
Well, if not, then get an Australian account and download it.
There you go.
Boom, boom.
Yep. Cool. Now, you have one more game to talk about.
Yeah, and it probably won't be for a super long time. I've been playing Caveman Warriors.
All right, Caveman Warriors. Now, I'm trying to think about who you'd play as in this game. Do you play as like a fast hedgehog?
Nope, you play as actual tribal fishermen from the Egyptian era.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
No. It plays a bunch of dingy-looking cavemen and women.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's okay. So what this game is, it is a platformer, but it's a multiplayer platformer. So, you know, it's got up to 4 players, and there are 4 different cave people, each with their own abilities and weapons. So, like, for instance, the one girl, she has a spear, so, when she attacks, it's more of like a poke, but she can also throw her spear, and it can, latch into certain walls. And
become like a
platform. Exactly, yeah. And then, like, there's a guy, he has a big axe, and, like, his special ability is he can sort of lay his shoulder down and charge, almost sort of like Wario, and break through blocks.
Okay. So this is a side-scrolling
platformer.
Yep, 2D
platformer.
That and then you can play with up to 4 people, right?
Yep.
Or by yourself.
Yeah, and when you play solo, you pick one of the cavemen, and you could just, with the press of a button, one of the shoulder buttons, you could switch up to any of them, because there is going to be, there are going to be times when you're going to need certain abilities from certain, cavemen.
Yeah.
So to be able to
traverse.
Yeah. So to be able to switch on the fly is obviously very nice, but also necessary. Now,
is this like Donkey Kong Country, where like they're following you, or does your guy actually change?
They just sort of just like poof, you're the other caveman now.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as you go through, it's sort of loose, like where like Mutant Mudds is a very tight platformer. You jump, you land. Where this feels looser and sloppier. I don't know. It's just I don't love the art direction. I don't hate it. I don't know. The character designs are just sort of meh. As well, like some of the environments look pretty cool, but it's just the characters I don't really love, and like their animations, how they move. It's just.
It's interesting you said that, because I saw the screenshots online, and I'm like, okay, like this, this isn't my cup of tea, really, but I didn't really like. It kind of looks kind of not very detailed and stuff. But then when I saw the screenshots on the eShop, I was like, oh, this looks way better than I thought it was. It's just, I think it's the stylistic, the actual aesthetic style that they went for. I think it's a pretty quality, nice looking game.
Well, you know what also is weird? It's like Caveman Warriors isn't like the colors of the title. I know it's sort of stupid, but it just like when I look at the icon, it looks like cheap and cheesy to me.
Yeah.
But
well, that's just one of those things. It's like to me, I'm trying to think of like the passion, like where. And I'm not saying that people couldn't. I'm just like, to me, I would never have the passion to make a Caveman Warriors game. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, do people like cavemen?
I mean,
maybe people like cavemen.
I guess. I mean, there's definitely got to be people who like the prehistoric sort of caveman type of game, or type of.
I mean, I guess there is old caveman platformers.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's previous games.
Yeah, no, I remember playing caveman platformers like on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. Actually, I can remember one game. It was it was like Cavemen, and it was for the Super Nintendo, but I can't think of. I'd have to look to see if I could come up with a game name. But I remember enjoying it. But anyway, back to this game. So I mean, now clearly multiplayer was a big thought when going into this game, so I wonder if maybe I would enjoy it more playing with other people instead of like, I got to switch, having another character or two or player or two to be like, okay, we each sort of have our own role in this. Now, like I said, I haven't played an absolute ton of the game. It's you work your way through, and there are definitely some tough spots. The enemies have knockback. So it's rough when you're sort of.
This is what I've heard is really annoying.
When you're sort of platforming over, a big area where it's like, okay, I could fall to my death here, to be like,
and you will.
I jump. I got hit by that guy. And he knocks me right into the pit. And it's like,
yeah, that's the pit.
Yeah, it sure is. And then like even when you get up to the boss, it's like, okay, I died. Normally you'd think there'd be a nice little sort of save point before the boss, but no, it sort of kicks you back. So there are some areas you're going to have to redo a number of times where it's sort of just like, man, I wish I could have just respawned by the boss instead of having to do this other stuff. But
it's because you've been spoiled in.
Yeah, you're just a weak gamer, Casey.
Yeah.
You're a baby.
That's just because you need to get good.
Yep.
You need to appreciate bad game design.
You need to watch the field, Bobby. But yeah.
Don't look at me. Look at the ball.
Look at the caveman. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a broken game or anything, and it doesn't work. Like, it does work. I think, like I said, maybe in a multiplayer environment, it might be more fun. But yeah, it didn't really grab me.
I can guarantee you that in a multiplayer environment, it would be better.
Yeah.
Just because switching between, it's like Triforce Heroes, you know what I mean?
Well, I should say it's definitely not as intensive as that. You know, like Triforce Heroes with one player stunk because it was like was like every single puzzle required like a bunch of moves. Generally, this is pretty quick. Like, oh, I need to break through these blocks. Let me switch. You know. And, like,
gotcha.
The characters, like, they are different, you know what I mean, their attacks and stuff, but, like, not so much that, like, switching to one character and then just sort of leaving it as that character is sort of what happened with me, you know? Like, oh, I just used the spear for that, like, I guess I'll just continue to use her.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I...
That's probably good, though.
Yeah, so...
You know what I mean?
But, yeah, no, just...
So you're not just constantly switching.
It just seems like a very mediocre platformer at best.
Well, there you go. Alright, so that's Caveman Warriors for Switch.
And then now we've got one final game to talk about. And I think we're making pretty good time going through these games. I'm trying to keep it somewhat brisk with these with the huge eShop and news coming up. So why don't we get into the third and final review game of the week, and for Perry at least. And this game, you hammered through this game, didn't you?
I sure did, and that is Serial Cleaner.
Does it feature Mr. Clean?
And
did I steal your joke?
Yeah. No, I was gonna make a Captain Crunch joke. But I love Captain Crunch and Mr. Clean.
It should be Captain Clean.
This is the cross game.
Captain Clean.
Yeah, Captain Clean.
I like that.
No, this isn't cereal as in cereal, like the Super Mario cereal. This is a different cereal, like a serial killer, but this time you're a cleaner. Now, what the heck does that mean?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one playing it.
Oh, oh, right. Yeah. So basically, you know, if you're like this really cool guy in a game and you're walking around shooting all these guys in this gang hideout, you know, and then you get your cash and you leave, you know,
like some sort of robber, like a degenerate.
There you go. Yeah, like, you know, like your everyday weekend. Well, I relate to this guy because what about, like, who's gonna clean up your mess? You know, like, who? Otherwise, people are gonna find you and they're gonna find, you know, the blood of the people that you killed, and they're going to figure forensics, you know, like, what about forensics?
So this is the guy that takes care of the forensics, huh?
Exactly. So this is the guy that takes his vacuum and dodges the policeman and hides the bodies and grabs all the evidence. You know, so that is your job. That is what you're hired to do. So your name is Bob, and you have a house, and you live with your mom, and you're a young guy. I mean, you look like 20s. You know, that's what I think, but I don't know. This is set in the 70s, so it has this really great. Oh, the art is so good in this game. It's so cool looking, and it has like you know, like 70s wallpaper, and the music is like that. What's that? Like cop buddy detective 70s music.
Oh, no, I know exactly. Yeah.
I'm blanking.
No, I know exactly
on the what is that? What is that style? Anyway, but it's like that you know, that fantastic 70s sound He's going, but yeah. So you're at the house, and so it's like in between. There's missions, and it's mission based. The whole campaign is, but in between you're at your house, and you can talk to your mom or check out the newspaper, which will talk like there'll be headlines about like the things that you were involved in, and then you listen to the news on the TV or on the radio, and you get calls from clients to do stuff, and there's a little kind of story in there, and it's pretty great actually. I mentioned in my review that it's just kind of it's big enough to be intriguing, but it's small enough to not be in the way.
Yeah.
So
a nice
which is my favorite kind of story. I mean, not that story's bad. It's just that like when it's the focus is not on the story, which. Let me tell you about how the game plays. You're thinking, well, what do you do? Well, it's a pretty fast-paced game, and it's basically stealth. It's played top-down. So think of like Link to the Past, that kind of an idea. That's my go-to bird's-eye view top-down game. But you're going around, and there are policemen everywhere that have like their, like Metal Gear Solid. Their view, you can see where they can see, like their view.
Yeah, it's like a cone or something.
Yeah. And like their cone of vision, yeah. And so they're walking around, and if they see you, they'll run after you, and if they catch you, which they're pretty fast, if they catch you, that's it. Like you're done for you have to restart the whole level.
That's no bueno.
No bueno. But what is bueno is there's lots of hiding spots around everywhere, like a plant or a trash can or a dumpster.
Jump in that trash can.
Yeah, and it's great because like they can be running after you, and you jump into a dumpster right in front of them, and they'll be like,
"Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Must have been nothing." And then they'll walk away,
It must have been nothing.
Yeah. So, there is a lot of leeway with that, but it's like sometimes like their little cone of vision can be like kind of random. It's not like you should be smart, but it's like, like when you're trying to do something and you're kind of getting impatient, so you want to take a little risks.
Yeah, you've had enough.
It's like, okay, I could do it. I bet I could do it. And then they turn and they look at you, and then they run after you and they get you, and it's just like, oh.
And then you go back and you go, all right, now I wasted my time. I'm going to do this real quick, and then you die again.
Yeah.
And then you do it again and again. And you're just like, God, I wish I had just waited.
I know. It's like I would have been done with this if I would just, I would be done half the time. Yeah, so basically there's bodies laying, there's like 3 or 4 bodies on the screen. I mean, the levels get bigger and more complex as you go through the story, and different ideas. You can take shortcuts through the map, and you can move stuff so that like the cops you can trap cops so that they can't see you, which is really fun to do. And there's a lot of different cool environments. Now it's like you're walking around the screen and you're picking up bodies, and then you have to take it back either to the trunk of your car. Sometimes like there's one where you're like on a bayou and you throw the bodies to crocodiles. And it's pretty great. But the game, there's blood everywhere. Like there's lots of blood, but it's not like gruesome. Like you don't see.
Yeah, more cartoony than anything.
Yeah, it's very artistic and it's not like gruesome. So but the other big part is vacuuming up the blood.
Just bust that little vacuum.
Yeah, like so if you that's literally if you hit ZR. That's his vacuum button. So you'll just pull it out and you'll be vacuuming. Yeah, and
he's like Luigi.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. But like, so a big part is like you'll see a bit, and so like every level you'll have a certain quota of blood you have to vacuum up. The
blood quota.
So, yeah. So. That might have to be the name for the episode.
The blood quota.
The blood quota. So you'll have to, like, it's just one of those things where, and like also you make noise. So And I don't think you make noise with the vacuum. It's just when you move, you make noise. And so that comes, so like sometimes, you know, they can hear
So you gotta
that.
be, stealthy about it.
Yeah. And like other parts, like there'll be like boom boxes that you can set off that will attract cops to come to there.
To a
that
different
way you
area,
can go. Yeah. So if that can, like, so do you understand how the game is played? It's very, very kind of fast paced, very fun. The only thing that I didn't like was the button pressing and the controls felt a little inconsistent. Like, for example, like say a policeman is running after me and I'm running towards that trash can to hide in it. Well, I get to it and I press A and it doesn't
register. Yeah.
It doesn't register, exactly. And I have to hit it again. But it's like I got one shot, I missed it, and he got me. And it's just like, it might have been because the hit detection, maybe it's a little sensitive around like where you have to be. But like, it felt like I should have had that, and I didn't. So that happened quite a few times, but I mean, it was one of those things where you just gotta be more careful to allow for it to happen. And it was never a big deal. The movement is kind of weird because there's no run button, but he randomly runs sometimes. So it's like sometimes you have more
luck
time.
of the draw, yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's weird. And there actually might be a certain reason why, but I could not figure it out. But yeah, but that's not a big deal. Like, this is not a game-breaking thing.
You know there is a run button?
You know you just hit B, right? Yeah, I know. I'm so afraid of that. But maybe, yeah. I tried. I couldn't find it. But I am a Jimmy.
No wonder why he didn't like it.
It didn't ruin it. Yeah. This game is hard. Remember that one time when you played that one game and you didn't know you could run?
Yeah, that was Legend of Kusakara or whatever. The rice. The grass cutting game.
Which is funny because that's like a behind the scenes game too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like you're setting up stuff for like a Zelda type game, and this is kind of like the post game.
Yeah, you're cleaning up.
So this is basically a sequel to that game.
Perfect. There you go.
If that, yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought, you know, besides that little control thing, but that didn't ruin the game at all. Really fun. So if that sounds up your alley, check it out on the eShop. Check out my review. Man, lots of reviews this week, Case.
Yeah, you're an animal.
Well, for you too. Well, I guess you got
I only
one
did really one.
But you're working on some.
Yeah, well,
that's okay.
We got another one in the works, but I'll talk about that next week.
All right. Well, it's been many games talked about.
And we got a couple more coming after the break.
Yeah, oh man, let's take a break, and when we come back, it's the eShop Roundup.
Thunder Round. The lightning eShop Roundup.
Yes, please. Electrify. And we are back.
Yes, we are.
That's right. It's time for the eShop Roundup. Yeehaw! Yes, if you're new to the show, this is where we go through the Switch eShop releases of the last week. And Casey, we have 25 games.
I was just gonna say, remember when we used to do 3DS and Wii U and Switch, and it still wouldn't be as long as this episode's freaking roundup? Like, not even close.
Yep. And a lot of these games are good games. So let's get started. Let's quit reminiscing. Quit talking about what it. Remember when we did
Stop your navel gazing and talk.
And let's talk about WWE 2K18.
Woof. That's what I heard.
I've heard. Yeah, I know that Donald Terrio, I think. Yeah, he saying it's like practically unplayable. Nintendon, he wrote the review for NWR. Gave it a 3. Should probably stay away from that game. I know there's a patch coming, but you should probably stay away.
Yeah, maybe the patch will fix some things, but from what I understand, ugly pickings right now.
2K does not have a good
Well, that's
track
the thing.
record, do they?
I want to say with two. I mean, I know we talked about doing quick, but 2K18 for NBA. Like I said, while the single player campaign quote unquote mode was like busted as hell, the actual gameplay was really good for just like if you were just playing pick up and play. I don't think that's the case with this game, but for those interested, $59.99 full retail price, or if you want to pay a little extra, you can get the digital deluxe edition for $89.99. Yeah, if you'd like to play almost, half extra.
Exactly half extra.
Yeah, I was going to say double, and then I realized that would make any sense.
Actually, it's 1 cent more than double. Yeah. Or than half.
You're getting ripped off.
Yep. But speaking of getting ripped off, next game we have...
No, yeah, I was going to say, this game actually looks cute.
No, I don't even... No, I was just kidding. I don't even know anything about this game. I just wanted to
just be a Jimmy? No. This next game is Acorn Tactics for $11.99. Now, this looks like a cute little strategy game with, I don't know, it looks like little robots, and I don't know, I guess maybe they're little squirrels? I don't know. I don't really know where the acorn's coming in, but alien blobs from space are invading the Earth, and I guess it's up to, oh, alright, Alien Counter Offensive Response Network, Acorn.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with squirrels.
Well, that's just disappointing.
Man, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Star Fox Guard, like the aesthetic.
Yeah, the look. But yeah, it looks like a cool little strategy game, maybe sort of like Mario and Rabbids, but
it does look cool. Yeah.
Pretty cool, $11.99.
But speaking of pretty cool, next up we have Embers of Mirrim, which is a game that I talked about, and this costs
$19.99.
All right, so yeah, this is the platformer with a great little dual analog hook to it. Check it out. But let's move on.
Dimension Drive.
Dimension Drive. Oh.
$12.99.
$12.99.
Now, this is like an arcade shooter, right?
Yeah. It looks. It's a space shooter that challenges your skills in entirely new ways. It's sort of you play 2 games at once.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screens and I see that. I figured that was maybe just 2 players, but interesting.
No. So a lot of these dual analog games
sort of reminds me of a little bit look of like Nano Stray for the DS.
Yeah.
I remember when that game was supposed to be rare or something, and I bought it and I was like, oh my god, it's a pretty fun little game too, though. Anyway, moving along, we got a Jimbo game. Plague Road, and it's checking in at an even $10. That has a 10 with 2 zeros after it.
Yeah, and Jimmy Price.
What is Jimmy doing, you know?
You know, it's been a long time since a real Jim Price.
Well, Plague Road's here to bring it to you.
I know a guy named Jim Price. Anyway, yeah, man, colorful game. Wow.
It looks, I was going to say, I sort of like the art direction. The characters are, like, very...
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's hard to exactly put a word to describe the art style, but it's sort of surreal.
It looks like Has-Been Heroes. The gameplay kind of looks like Has-Been Heroes.
Yeah, like the lanes and stuff. Yep.
But, man, it's a really cool-looking game. I don't like serif fonts for main text, but that's just me. But, yeah, Plague Road. Interesting.
Cool little strategy role-playing game. Yep, for the Jimmy Price of 10 bones.
But moving on, we have Vostok Inc., which I think is how it is, or Vostok, or Vostok.
Vostoki.
Or Vostok. Or Vostok. Incorporated.
Vostok.
For $14.99, and this is
another twin stick. The world's first twin stick action arcade clicker.
Okay, so that's part of the gameplay, I guess.
Right. Raise some startup capital by twin stick blasting enemies, asteroids, and anything else that gets in your way. Then embrace your newfound quest for moolah as you colonize, explore, and exploit over 40 planets across 6 unique solar systems.
I love this. It says, Relax and let the moolah roll in to make you filthy, stinking rich.
That's all you could ever hope for, you know?
Yeah.
Just to
This
be
is a one-player game.
filthy, stinking rich.
Yeah, it has a guy in a suit or in a tie riding a spaceship with cash flowing out of it, kind of like in Rocket League when you have that
when you
as
make
your
that
exhaust.
make that goal.
Yep. But anyway,
this next game we've got Touch Battle Tank SP, no spaces.
No, yeah, I was gonna say you said that wrong. It's Touch Battle Tank SP.
Yeah, 0 spaces involved in that one for the price of $4.99. Now,
yeah,
this is a weird
this
little
game came out on 3DS, right?
Yeah, I believe there was a version of it for it. It's like a weird little tank fighting game, right? I haven't actually played it.
I almost bought it. I meant to look through the pictures. I almost bought it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's like a little. Yeah. It looks like a 64 tank game, and which I love. Kind of looks like Bomberman a little bit. Manipulate tanks with analog sticks. Now, interestingly enough, this is only one player, so it looks like it'd be a cool 2-player game. But anyway, it's only $4.99, so check it out.
Hey Perry, can I ask you a question before we continue on?
Please.
Would it be a week without a Neo Geo game?
No, it would not.
Well, then, good thing we've got one up on the eShop roundup here.
Dude, this game looks so freaking sweet.
Top Hunter, Roddy, and
name.
Kathy.
Roddy and Kathy? Dude, look at how beautiful and cool this game looks.
Dude, I tell you what.
Man.
I don't know who would beat me up worse, Roddy or Kathy. Look at Kathy's shoulders, man. She could play. She could be a linebacker in the NFL.
Heck yeah, she probably is. Yeah, top Hunter, Roddy, and Kathy. This intense.
You're right over there,
bud. This intense action game offers thrills and adventure. It's time to get rid of the space pirates. So this is a Metroid game.
I tell you what, I would love to play this game if I wasn't already drowning in other games.
I know. The drowning is never going to stop. So let's move on to Red Game Without a Great Name. I don't think it's that bad of a name. I think it's unique. It's memorable.
They should have just been.
I don't think it's a bad name.
Should have just been called.
It looks cool too.
Jimmy the Game.
Dude, it totally looks like the silhouette levels from Donkey Kong.
Oh no, I absolutely love the art direction. The game looks really cool. I guess it's like a puzzle game, right?
It looks like a platformer puzzle game.
Arcade puzzler.
Yeah.
I don't love the name.
And these guys made a
Green Game Without something or another.
You know what's so weird? These guys made a Serial Cleaner.
Oh really?
Yeah, same developer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I mean they're cool. Like you said, it's cool looking games. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah,
$2.99. Jinx.
You owe me a Coke.
Nope. Pepsi Cola.
Nope. Moving on to Teslagrad for $14.99.
Boom shakalaka.
I have this on Wii U, and it's funny because I remember seeing the trailer for it before it came out on Wii U and going, wow, like look at the animation and the graphics in this game. It is gorgeous, and you can tell if you see in the screenshots of like it's like set in Russia. There's one where it's raining and he's jumping on a roof, and it is so
he's jumping
cool.
on a roof.
It's like hand drawn
rain, yeah,
cells, and it's so cool. So David Lloyd did the review for NWR, and he absolutely loved it. So yeah, check it out.
Yes, sir. Next up, we've got Plantera Deluxe. I believe that's how you'd say that, right?
Now, this is the third time. I think this is a new record. I think. Because this is the third time we've featured this game on the eShop Roundup. Did you know that?
I probably should have, since I've been here for every eShop Roundup, but
yep.
It must not be too memorable in my my eyes there. Now, this looks what? Like, sort of like, I was going to say, no, when I saw the screenshot, the first one, I thought maybe sort of like a Harvest Moon. But maybe.
Yeah, it's a sim. Yeah, exactly. It's like a side-scrolling sim where you start off with like, you know, like planting something and then like just like an apple, you know, but then like you end up with like fields of different fruit and different animals and everything, and man, the pixel graphics are pretty great. Kind of reminds me of Scribblenauts graphics a little bit. But yeah, Plantera DX sounds like a great game to have on Switch. And it's $4.99.
It's a good price.
So, yeah, it's something you might want to check out. Now, if you don't mind if we move on.
By all means.
Okay, I think it's... I've never heard this game pronounced. But it's the Sexy Brutale?
I think it's just...
Brutale?
I think it's...
Brutale?
I think it's sort of a, like, the Sexy
I'm sorry, I've
Brutal.
never heard that word.
Like, the Sexy Brutale.
Well, you just said two different things.
I think it's like Brutale, but it's sort of like a play on brutal.
What? Okay.
Because, you know, it's got the little E on the end there. Like maybe Brutale or Brutal. I don't know. Whatever.
But, well, it's a weird name. Anyway.
It's an adventure puzzle game, right?
Okay.
Sort of... I'm going to say the screenshots, I guess they're sort of cool. It seems like you go like one room and it's sort of like the rest is blacked out, and I don't exactly know what's going
really
on.
Cool.
A never-ending masked ball featuring intrigue, murder, and quite possibly a cult.
Grayson, you reprobate. You had better be right. Or is it reprobate? I don't even know what that word is. It's probably something sexy, but the Sexy Brutale, $19.99. That's what we're calling it, Brutale.
Brutale.
There you go. I like that. Next up, what do we have, Case?
Oh, I see what you're doing here. Yodanji, right? That sounds about right. Coming in at $4.99. I'll be honest with you, this game's not pulling up for me right now on the eShop, so I don't know anything about this game.
It's a coffee break roguelike themed after Japanese folklore tales. I love that name, by the way. Coffee break roguelike. That's an awesome
That should have just
term.
been the title of the game.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. It's based on Japanese folklore, which it's funny. I actually am a big fan of Japanese folklore. I don't like manga. Really, but like I do like the old, you know, like the kappas and there's a Ninetales on here, and a bunch of the art's really cool. But then like when you get into the game, it looks like an old NES game. What are you laughing at over there?
I was just laughing because it just sounded like the most sarcastic line of all time. Like, I'm really into Japanese. Like I know it's not, you know, but it just sounded funny.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I can see there's a yokai box. So there you go. So Yokai Watch 4 is what this is. But it looks like it plays like Quest of Dungeons, or like it looks like that. If you know what that is. And I believe I heard. I think I heard. Man, I don't know. Anyway, we can move on.
Yes, Gunbird for the Nintendo Switch. I believe that's the actual title, right?
Yeah, yep.
This is $7.99, and it is a first-person, or not a first-person, I guess just an arcade shooter.
Use that price.
Yeah, what are they, monsters? Now, this is the third volume of the Psycho content. Gunbird for Nintendo Switch.
This looks like... Okay.
Looks like a shoot 'em up.
It looks like a Neo Geo game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's weird because all of the screenshots look really blurry. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm looking on my Switch, and yeah, it looks like a Neo Geo game that's like it's like compressed. It looks like it should be played in tape mode, you know, vertically, but it's not.
Who knows if that's so funny. I've never heard of that tape mode until today when you mentioned that.
Yep.
Get off my lawn, dang it. But, it's called vertical.
This is a 1994 game. So this is like a new port of an old game. Okay.
Alrighty.
You got it.
Got it. Got it good.
All right. Next we have Slain Back from Hell, with an amazing cover of a guy staring at a huge moon with a
rock and roll.
He's just completely covered in dripping blood,
and he's given like the Texas Longhorn hand signals to the sky. It sort of looks like Castlevania.
Look at the pixel art in this game, man.
Rated M,
incredible. Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks
sweet. I think the worst part about it is the name and the logo. Looks awful, but everything else looks awesome.
Yeah, Slain Back from Hell. I don't hate the name, not a great name, but yeah, the little icon doesn't really do much. It should have, like, the icon should be exactly the guy covered in blood with the moon.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
Yeah.
But no, this game looks really cool.
It does look cool, man. Yeah.
Keep that one in mind.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we have game we talked about before, Riptide GP Renegade, and that is
Renegade.
That is the jet ski game, and it's great.
Clocking in at $9.99.
Yeah, an amazing price. Experience a future of illicit hydrojet racing, where armored riders kick out death-defying stunts over massive waterfalls, dodge cops, and boost across surging waves. Dodge cops.
Ooh-wee.
Beautiful.
Now, this next game has quite possibly the most interesting price I've ever seen on this here eShop roundup. Clocking in at $19.90. So $19.99. Nope.
$19.90.
$19.90. I was thinking the year. I wonder if that's what they're going for, maybe.
Yeah, because it takes place in 1990.
Does it really? Or are you just making that up?
That's what I'm thinking, because that's the whole style of the game.
But anyway, yes, the game itself is Floor Kids. That strange looking rhythm game with like the sort of cool hand drawn art style, like the sketchy animation. It looks pretty cool, and I believe Neil Ronahan wrote the review for the website, and he enjoyed it. Cool little interesting game.
It looks awesome. It's kind of a high purchase for me, but like when on a sale, I want to get it, because that hand drawn art with the 8 different diverse characters look great. And like there's a 2-player mode, and I don't know, I like rhythm games, and I like different. I can imagine how this game plays, and you can kind of learn new moves and unlock new moves and play. It sounds fun. It really does. It sounds cool. So, plus beats by Kid Koala, which I don't know anything about. Yeah. All right, moving on. We have Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive.
Pew, 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 pew. A spin-off
for $9.99
to the fighting game Phantom Breaker. Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds is a cooperative action game for up to 4 players. All right.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a beat 'em up.
Yeah, beat 'em up.
Looks great. Looks cool. Looks very colorful.
Some cool sprite work, it looks like.
Yeah, who's this made by? Mages? I'm trying to think. It's Japanese. It looks Japanese. So
yeah, in the description it says cute versions of the series characters dash around the screen in this action-packed title.
Wait, it's okay.
So yeah,
okay. So Phantom Breaker is a series.
Yeah. Phantom Breaker is.
Have you heard of that?
No, it's a fighting game though, and then this is
Gotcha. Oh, that's fun. That's a cool idea. I like that idea. Now, next up, we're trucking on, Case.
We sure are, and there's still so much to go. We've got Human Fall Flat.
Yeah.
Now this is $14.99, and this is a platformer, right?
Yeah, it's a 3D platformer. Slash like puzzle, like like the whole. It's kind of like a big open world where it's very organic, and where I don't think there's a lot of direction, but you just have to figure out what to do and how very physics based. And I actually looked at this game because I thought it looks so funny and weird, and it has a pretty big following. Like, there's like videos that have like millions of views on this game, and it looks pretty fun and wonky, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we have a review either on the site or very soon to be on the site. So check that out.
Good stuff.
Now, this is a surprise, kind of. Since
you're ruining
last week.
my dang old news block.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like, well, this is part of the eShop Roundup. Sometimes the eShop Roundup. See, why do you think I like to have the eShop before the news block?
So you could steal my business?
Jerk. You jerk.
So you can... Yeah. I'm going to steal your thunder.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. You do it. You've already stolen it.
Zelda, Breath of the Wild, expansion pass. The new DLC is out.
Wait, what? What? I had no idea.
Well, spoilers. That's not even a spoiler. Now now you can buy the whole game and the expansion pass for $79.98.
It's a savings right there, man. Actually, I don't think it is at all.
It's not, actually. But
I appreciate, though, that they took the 1 penny off so you weren't actually paying more.
Yeah, that would be stupid, you know. But I think we all know what that is. Blabbity blue. We'll probably talk about it somewhere in the future. I downloaded it. I'm going to play through it. I got other games to play through as well. But obviously, I will be playing through it. Because I'm not a Jimmy.
Yeah, I need to find some time. But, of course, Xenoblade.
I gotta get that motorcycle, man.
There's not time with Xenoblade. Well, a motor... Just take away 2 news stories.
I'm not talking about Zelda. I'm talking about our next game, Tennis in the Face, where there's a motorcycle. Not really. I was talking about Zelda.
What a name. Tennis in the Face.
Yeah, this is from good old 10 Tons.
They for what do we got? $4.99. Now this doesn't look like a very traditional tennis game at all. Matter of fact,
help former tennis star Pete Pagassi save the city from an evil energy drink corporation explodes. Hey, wait a second. That's the setup of a game on Xbox One. Oh, it's the same exact setup.
Sunset Drive Over something or another?
Yes, Sunset Overdrive. Thank you. Yes.
Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think it's Pete Pagassi or do you think it's Pete Pagassi?
I think it's Pagassi.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, moving on to the next game here. We've got Party Planet. And this one's clocking in at $39.99. Now this is I believe it's got a physical release as well. And this is
it has a minigame called Super Vegan Anaconda.
That sounds weird. The ultimate collection of party games for up to 4 players. Party Planet features 30 fun-packed party games for up to 4 players. It's the ultimate must-have game for family and friends of all ages. So
yeah, it looks fun. $40 price tag, but I believe it's coming physical as well.
Yep. Were you even listening to me, Bobby?
Yeah, I was. And I'm just reiterating. Wait, you said it was coming physical?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. Listening to you. But I do love the name of the developer, which is Mastiff.
Mastiff.
Because I love Mastiffs. Especially a Dutch Mastiff. Do you know what a Dutch Mastiff is?
Are you sure it might not be Mastiff?
No, it's Mastiff. Do you know what a Dutch Mastiff is? Shut up.
I think it's a dog, right?
Yeah. Do you know what it is, though?
Some sort of 4-legged pooch?
Yep, and it's your favorite dog.
Little puggy-wuggy?
Yep. Pugs are bred from Mastiffs.
That I did not know.
They're actually called a Dutch Mastiff. Isn't that cool? They're miniature Mastiffs, and that's why I love Mastiffs. Plus, they're the cutest things ever. Moving on to The End Is Nigh.
The End Is Nigh.
From Nicholas. For $14.99, and this is from Super Meat Boy guy. Or team.
Super
team
Meat Man.
Right? I don't know if that's what they're called, but Yeah, man. Now the cover to this looks so sweet.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
I love that logo. See, that's good logo.
It reminds
and
me
this game
of
looks really cool.
The logo, like the little shadowed figure on the bottom there, reminds me of Isaac from Binding of Isaac.
Totally,
and they're both from Nicholas. So I mean, I know they're the publisher, but
aren't those the same? Is the Binding of Isaac? Isn't that Super Meat Boy? Isn't that the same guy?
I don't think so, but I don't.
For some reason, I think it is. I think it is.
It could very well be.
This game looks like a really stylistic, cool Super Meat Boy type game. What's the point of surviving the apocalypse if you can't share it with a friend? That's what the slogan is there. So, yeah, his name's Ash. He's one of the few things that have survived the end of the world. So, it says, follow Ash as he flops his way through a future of pain and suffering.
Sounds sort of like Binding of Isaac, too.
Yeah, what is with those perverts over there with their blood and pain?
We like flowers and pizza over here.
Yeah, we like Yoshi's Island.
Yeah. I want to play Yoshi's Story. And then 10 cats. All right.
Yoshi's Story plus cats.
Next
up we have two different pinball free-to-play games.
It's the pinball block, baby.
On the same day. Pinball block. First up, we have Stern Pinball Arcade, which is a free-to-play. It's free download, but I tell you what, if you want to play some of the tables, I don't know exactly what you get, but if you want to download more, there's a lot of stuff you can download, like $100 worth of stuff.
Yep, they've got Ghostbusters, Star Trek, AC/DC, Mustang, Harley Davidson,
70
Starship, High Roller Casino, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Phantom of the Opera, Last Action Hero. So there's a ton of different tables.
A Last Action Hero? That's awesome.
Yep. And yeah, like you said, like the Harley Davidson's going to be $4.99. I guess you could buy them in bigger packs. It looks like you could, I guess, get all the content for $40. There's 2 DLC packs, or you could buy them individually for $4.99 each. Although there's a couple that are $9.99 each. So, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And then, also we have Pinball Fx3 from Zen. So this is the Zen Studios, which they've been very present on Nintendo stuff.
Yes, sir.
So they have the same exact kind of thing where you can download a bunch of bundles or separate. They have a Portal pinball, The Walking Dead pinball,
Family Guy.
They have lots of different stuff here. Medieval, sci-fi, Zen classics. Now, are you a pinball guy?
Not particularly. I've bought like one of the Zen pinballs for the 3DS back in the day, and you know what I mean. Like, I should say I enjoy pinball, but I would never play it for hours on end. You know, it'd be like, play a game here or there. Like, this would probably be perfect for me to be able to download it, play, a game or two here or there, and then I'd probably put it down. You know, I probably wouldn't go buy the DLC, but very vague interest, I suppose I would say. Okay. How about you?
I remember this pinball game on the Mac, like back in 1999, that I would love to play at my dad's work. But other than that, I've never been into pinball. I don't know. So I don't want to knock it or anything, but it just seems kind of boring.
Yep.
I don't want to knock it, but I think it's awful in every way. Just kidding. But that's going to do it for our 25 round eShop roundup.
I can't wait
That's a lot of steer.
I can't wait to list our top 64 games for the 64. Can you imagine?
That'd be easy, because then we could just
list the catalog. Yeah.
You know, they should have just trimmed down a bunch and just only had 64 games for 64. That would have been great.
Well, remember the Dream Team? Only a select few developers were going to be on board. You know.
Yes.
Well, We're doubling down on the Dream Team by only allowing 64 games to ever come out.
That would be awesome. That sounds like something that Nintendo would do.
It sounds like I could breathe and actually play the games instead of more of them piling up.
Yep.
A dream.
See, they knew what they were doing.
A dream come true.
If we release more games, then you will not play them.
Yep, but we'll still buy them because we're suckers.
Yep, we'll still give you money, so you're still wrong. And with that, we will end the eShop Roundup. And it's time for the news.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
We've got some news. And you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there, man. Hardy.
Yep, definitely. So let's get through it, because we still got a topic of the show to get through.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're going to do a little rapid fire here. We'll start off with the game.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Do you think we should run through the eShop Roundup one more time before we get to the news?
I love it! WWE
Let's do it.
2K18 Digital Deluxe Edition.
So $59.99 for the standard, $89.99 for the deluxe version. I've heard from Nintendo that it's really bad.
Now, Acorn Tactics, you might think this has something to do with some cute squirrely whirlies, but
okay, joke's over.
All right,
Very
the
good.
Game Awards. They
Yes.
were last week. Of course, you know, they were on Thursday night, so the day this podcast goes out. So a little bit of old news, but we got some great news, I think, throughout the entire thing. Obviously, we'll kick it off with Breath of the Wild DLC. I think
that would debut there.
Yep, I think we were all pretty confident that we'd be seeing what it had to offer. What I was not so confident in, that it'd be available right that second, or really a couple hours later. But yeah, that was a pretty awesome to see that.
Yeah, and it 4 combat trials, 16 shrines, and a dungeon, which is crazy to me because that's
a good chunk of change.
Good amount of content. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I started playing it, and I was just like, man, I saw a tweet going around which perfectly got it. It's like relearning how to play this game because that's just been so long.
Oh God, I felt like an idiot.
Yeah, I got hit by a bunch of guardians, and I realized I had awful armor on. I'm like, oh yeah, you can change your armor. Oh yeah, I shouldn't have this. I had some stuff I had unlocked with the amiibo. It's just not leveled up at all and just worthless.
I forgot you had to do the claw, to do the run and jump, oop. But
oh yeah, and I was like, how do you do the stasis? I can't even remember what you. I'm throwing bombs. What the? You have to do the D-pad.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it was rough, but also the motorcycle. That's pretty crazy.
What?
Yeah,
dude.
Sorry, bruh.
That looks awesome, and I've seen gameplay of that, and it looks so fun, and I really want it.
Maybe one day.
And I want to beat Ganon with it.
Yeah, just run him over.
You probably can't, but that'd be awesome.
Now, next up, we're going to stay with the Game Awards for the next couple pieces of information here. Yeah. Breath of the Wild, Game of the Year.
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year under 2017. Now...
Yes, we all saw this coming, right? I mean...
I did, but
really
I was still a little nervous that something like PUBG would
that would have
come out of the woodwork. Because, like I said...
Not that I'm saying that's a bad game or anything. But.
Yeah, no, I think it was... Like I said, I think it was safe to say Zelda would definitely get it over Mario. Then you look at... What were the other games? Persona 5, great game. We knew that wasn't going to have enough cachet to pull off Game of the Year. Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought maybe a slight chance if the Sony people came out of the woodwork,
Kind of, but it's like that came out same day or same
a couple days.
Same day, right?
It was 2 or 3 days before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and it's there's no way that made a bigger splash than Zelda.
Yeah, and then like I said, so it's just, to me it was
not that it's a bad game. It's just
to me it was PUBG that would have been the dark horse, just if. Because there's millions and millions of people who play that game, so if they voted for it,
because I literally have never seen a screenshot of it even.
Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, I'm glad. Obviously, happy to see Zelda get the nod. Enuma looked absolutely elated. He looks so happy up there. I think that, probably just the whole team must be like, we pulled off something crazy awesome here, So to get recognized, I have a feeling they will be winning quite a few more Game of the Year awards as we continue on. But now let's move on to some really exciting news. Bayonetta, baby, 1 and 2 coming to the Switch February 16th. Not that far off. What's that, 3 months from now? 2 months, more like 2 months, excuse me.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. You didn't actually get to catch much of the Game Awards, right?
I didn't catch that part. I saw that text the next morning. You're the first thing I saw when I woke up.
Bayo, baby.
Bayo 3, I think is what it's, And, sorry. I just
no, that's fine,
Yeah. So, Bay 1 and 2 and 3.
That's amazing.
Coming. That is huge. And now, before we get into Bayonetta 3, I remember when I told you that Bayonetta 1 and 2 were coming to Switch.
Dude,
you do remember this,
you know
right?
what I remember? I remember you telling me, hey, Casey, you know what games are never coming to the Switch? And I was like, what's that, Perry? And you're like, Bayonetta 1 and 2. Put it in the books. I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a good chance that those two games could be releasing in February 2018.
I think you're the only one of us that uses the expression "put it in the books." But no, because I sold my copy with that Wii U that I traded. Well, I didn't sell it. I traded it because I was like, if I am gonna play this, I'm not gonna play it on Wii U because it's coming to Switch. And yeah. Anyway, but Bayonetta 3, and that Nintendo, and then for Switch exclusive, like, I thought, okay, Bayonetta 3, I could see that coming, like, that's cool, but it's going to be for every platform. But no, it's like, it's Nintendo now.
See, to me, it wasn't shocking at all that it was exclusive. Because...
Really?
Yeah, because
Nintendo, like, kind of is the only reason it's alive.
Yeah, Bayonetta 2 would not be a thing at all if it wasn't for Nintendo ponying up and paying the penny, So, to me, right. I could very much see Nintendo also paying quite a bit for this one as well. But I also think it's going to be like, Nintendo saved us when this project was essentially dead, So it's like, we're going to stick with them now. And like you said, Bayonetta is a Nintendo franchise now, it seems like.
Man, I'm really excited for what Platinum has in store besides Bayonetta as well for Switch.
I don't care about anything else they do. Thank you, Bayo.
I mean, man, they were huge. See, here's the thing. I have little to no interest in Bayonetta. I'm not a big fan. I hate the character. I do not like Bayonetta. I think it's the part of Japanese culture that I just don't really like. Like that I don't, you know what I mean?
The over-sexualization?
Yeah, it's just
What
weird.
Are you, a prude?
She's just freaky looking. She's just freaky looking. Like unnatural looking. Like a
witch?
Beast. She's a witch. Yeah, exactly. But so I'm not really, like, I don't think I'm going to get any of these games, to be honest. But I think it's cool that they're coming.
So I guess I should return that Bayonetta amiibo and Bayonetta 2 pre-order then for your Christmas gift?
No, if you got it for me, I'd play it.
I'll keep it. I demand you.
Also, if you got me a Bayonetta amiibo for Christmas, that's like the best thing in the world.
I did one better. I got you both of
them. Yeah, it's like, why?
Too good.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
No, I had Bayonetta pre-ordered, and then that was when I was like, Casey, you need to stop spending all your money on amiibo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't forget Metroid Day.
Now, oh god, yeah, just freaking paid the piper for that.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, so that was all of the news we've got from the Game Awards, but also announced that same exact night, and probably a little overlooked, is that Outlast 1 and 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch in the first quarter of 2018. Do you know anything about these games?
I don't. I mean, I saw a screenshot of the announcement, and I saw it's like a strategy type game?
No, it's a survival horror game. So
I don't know what I saw.
Outlast 1, it's like you're a reporter, and you're just trying to get a story to get recognition. So like you go up to like this abandoned insane asylum, and you break in, and then all you have is your video camera, and you like fall in and you get trapped, and then you got to work your way out, and all of a sudden you start noticing like there's a lot of messed up stuff going on here, and your only light and is your video camera when you put it into like night vision mode. So you need to worry about making sure you have batteries for that, and then you don't have any weapons, so it's like if you get attacked you need to run and hide kind of thing. So it's definitely a creepy game. I really liked it. Actually, Outlast 2 I bought for the PC. Sandy and I were going to play it, but we only played a little bit of it. Weirder game, more like culty, like I think it's like your girlfriend's missing, and like there's like some sort of weird cult thing going on, and but yeah, 2 scary survival horror games coming to the Switch, so it sounds good to me.
Yeah, awesome. And also, remember Payday 2 when that was announced for Switch, and it's like,
yeah, where the heck is it?
Haven't heard anything about it. It's out in February, so
that's exciting.
Oh, Casey, remember when we were looking forward to a slower year next year?
Nope.
Well, good, because it's not going to be slower. It's probably going to be faster, which is scary.
Yeah, I know, insane.
But also, it's awesome and freaking sweet.
Now, this next game probably had some people in a tiff. Bridge Constructor Portal announced for the Switch. Now, I say that because it's a Portal game, but it is not the Portal game that everyone wanted. Now,
Okay, but this is in the universe of Portal.
Yeah. But it's a bridge constructor game, essentially.
I didn't know that.
So,
I
think people saw Portal and were like, oh my god! Finally, and then all of a sudden it was like, here's your bridge constructor game. Like, it might be a fine game, but it feels almost like the Metroid Federation Force situation, where it's like,
yeah. If anything, this sounds cooler. Like, not that I like Portal, but it's like I love new stuff.
I've never played Portal.
I hate when people just want it's like, yeah, I'm so mad. I was just talking about Federation Force the other night with Mystical Alex.
Starring Panda.
Yeah, starring Panda. I give him a chance. Like, it's cool. And if this is coming out for Switch, I bet the other ones are coming for Switch. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, seriously. I'm just saying it's probably a safe bet that they could come, so.
Hey, Perry, I got a question for you.
Yeah?
Do you like Street Fighter?
The answer, no.
Well, then, good thing this next collection is coming to the Switch, because if you spent $40 on Street Fighter 2 earlier this year, you're going to be upset.
Like good old Dan.
Because now Street Fighter Collection, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Just say Alpha 3
Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, all coming in the collection to the Nintendo Switch. And you know what's the coolest thing about all that, Perry?
I don't.
That if you want to play some online multiplayer, well, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and Street Fighter 3 A Third Strike will all feature online capabilities. Boom.
Okay. That is cool. And if I was a Street Fighter fan, it'd be cool, right? Having it on the Switch, having it on the go, blah 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 blah. But I couldn't care less, and I'm sorry. I can't get into Street Fighter.
There's too many games
now.
It's too many Street Fighter games.
Yeah, it's like I told this to Aaron, and he's like, who's gonna play Street Fighter?
Yeah, probably a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's cool, right? It's a cool history thing, and I guess now this is a collection, right? So this will be on one thing. Is it physical?
I believe so.
You never know. You never know if this is physical and we get it on cheap and we could play online together.
Nope.
Like I could see that possibly happening.
I can't.
You don't like Street Fighter?
I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't know. It's just 2D fighters to me,
boring.
like, I guess Smash is technically a 2D fighter, but, like, I don't know, your traditional 2D fighters where it's just sort of like, oh, you're in, like, a rectangle box, and you just fight each other, you know? It's like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I'd rather play ARMS or Smash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, now, this next part of the news section, we got some quotes here, but it's all about bringing games to the Switch, because the Switch needs more games. Square Enix CEO spoke on his desire for the company to make as many of their old titles available to the Switch. He says, one of our other big initiatives is to get as many of our past titles available via digital releases. Among the younger generation of gamers, you've got lots of people out there who may have heard of our past titles but have never actually had the opportunity to play them. So we think that program of porting and transferring the older titles over to new platforms, such as the Switch, is very important, so that people get the awareness of our back catalog. Just straight ports isn't going to cut it. We need to update those and modernize them to make something that works for modern gamers too. Now, do you want to take this next bit here?
With Capcom?
Yes, sir.
Yes. They want to do the same thing. With their games. In a new interview with the Nikkei.
Yeah, I guess that's
I think is what it's called. Capcom CEO Sugimoto just served up another Switch teaser. He says the home plus portable console concept works better than expected, and that Capcom wants to port games to Switch that were not available on Nintendo consoles previously. Which is awesome, and they've done already with Revelations 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, baby, bring 7, dude, baby.
It is. I know it's coming.
Honestly, the way they released the Resident Evil games, it wouldn't surprise me if we got like 1 through 7.
Dude. Yeah, true, and I'm telling you right now, 7 is totally coming. Yeah, all the Resident Evil games are coming. Please do Beautiful Joe. Do the old Clover games. You know, like why isn't freaking that one Zelda game that they did that's with the dog?
Minish Cap?
No, that'd be funny though if they released Zelda games on it. The one for Okami. Or Akami, or however you say it. That needs to be on Switch, you know, the Wii game. But anyway, yes, I love Capcom. Bring Bionic Commando.
After Resident Evil.
That's like my favorite Capcom franchise. Although Resident Evil Revelations is like one of my favorite games like this year.
Man, and 2 is so much better.
I don't see how it's going to be so much better.
Well, that's because you haven't played it, like you big Jimbo.
Have you played Revelations?
I sure have. Not on the.
You're quoting that twig boy at me.
Next up here, we've got Bandai Namco will be having a live stream on the 16th, which is Saturday. And I believe, I forgot to write exactly down, I believe it's rumored that they're going to be talking Switch games, but they also might have already confirmed they'll at least talk about some Switch games. Please, From Software, we need to know what's going on with the Switch. During the Game Awards, there was a From Software trailer, like a really, really small teaser trailer. It was like, 10 seconds long. Many think that's their next project, their next big new project, so maybe we hear about that on Saturday, and maybe it's coming to the Switch, but I think what I want to hear is a Dark Souls collection for the Switch, or even just any Dark Souls game. I want to try it, and if it's on the Switch, I will.
Wonderful.
Now,
yeah, I'm really excited about Bandai Namco because they are doing some really cool work, and they're really close to Nintendo with Super Smash and with Pokken, so yeah, that's really cool.
Now, this next little bit is really cool. Mario plus Rabbids update, free update, which adds, excuse me. Mario plus Rabbids new update, free for all, that adds versus mode, so now you can play against other players. This was one of the things a lot of players were asking for. They loved the game. there were all sorts of challenges you could do after you beat the campaign, but there was no way to play against another person, you know? So now they've added that for free, and I think that's really cool. They're listening to the fans. I think
that's awesome.
It's pretty easy to tell that this team is really passionate about their game. You know, we saw, I believe it was the director or one of the producers, you know, in tears during, you know, its announcement at E3 and the positive, you know, buzz around it all. So it just seems like a team that really cares about making a game that people are going to love and want to play. So, and free update. It's always good.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get this game. I don't know.
Maybe when it's for free, and all my other games are not around.
Yeah, maybe if I'm stuck on a desert island or something. But yeah. But it's time for some sweet good news, and that's because we're 2017, and it's sales figures for the Switch.
Ooh-wee, these just came out today, man.
Insane.
Yeah, I can't believe it, actually. Wow. So earlier today, we got a tweet from Nintendo of America, and it went out saying that, and it's not even shipped, it was sold. 10 million units sold. 10 million Switches sold in the first 9 months. Isn't that ridiculous?
That is, because the Wii U, that's almost the Wii U's complete sell rate of 5 years.
Yeah, it's gonna, I think, give it 3 more months, it needs to sell 4 more million. Holiday season is upon us. I could see us getting pretty close. Maybe not bypassing it, but getting close. But at the same token, it wouldn't surprise me if it does surpass the 14 million mark. But what a turnaround, man! It is. The Wii U were some dark days. I mean, it yielded plenty of great games. But overall, just like the feeling and vibe around Nintendo was sort of not doom and gloom. You know, like this is the end of the world. But you know, Nintendo had seen much happier days, and I'm glad to see these days back upon us.
Heck yeah, man. And yeah, did you talk about the 50% attach rate?
Nope, not yet. Why don't you fill us in on that a little bit?
Yeah, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Kart 8 all have more than 50% attach rate. So there's over 5 million of those sold. So 1 out of every 2 Switch owners owns all 3 of those games. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and isn't it ridiculous to think that Odyssey only came out about a month and a half ago at most?
Yeah, it is.
So it sold 5 million.
And I've heard Splatoon 2 is close behind.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere it was over 30%.
Yeah, I heard something like it's over 50% in a country, like in the United States.
Oh, I was thinking probably in Japan.
Or in Japan. It probably is Japan because
they love them some Splatoon.
They're Squazy.
They're Patrick Swayze.
I was gonna say that. Oh, what a bunch of nerds.
That's funny.
Anyway, speaking of a bunch of nerds, that's it for the news, and we should take a break because this is the 64th episode, so we're gonna come back and talk about our top 5 favorite Nintendo 64 games. Now, a loose top 5. We'll see how it happens.
It's going to be loosey-goosey, but it's going to be fun.
It is. Giddy up. We'll see you.
When we see you. In like 30 seconds.
Yeah. We're getting calls about a wild party over here. Know anything about it? I didn't think so. Which one of you jokers goes by the name Mario?
It's me!
Could you step outside, please?
Welcome to Mario Party, where you and 3 friends battle it out all night long. With 6 adventure boards and 50 mini-games, this party's just getting going. Mario Party, only on Nintendo 64. But it's me, Mario!
Yeah, tell it to the judge.
Get in or get out.
Alrighty, we are back. And it is that time. I guess it's almost like a pastime for any Nintendo-related, or really even video game-related podcast. When you hit the 64th episode, it's time to talk about the Nintendo 64.
Of course.
One of, a strange system. I mean...
Totally. Totally. It just from the beginnings of development to, you know, of it. It was originally the PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was started off, and then Nintendo cut their ties with Sony, and then they went with Philips and made the 64 with the cartridge base. So starting with that, it's just in a weird time in history where it was the pivotal change from 2D to 3D.
And really, the first time we saw a new competitor come into the realm to face up against the N64, of course we had Sega has always been, you know, Sega, Nintendo, but now Sony was in the ring with a pretty heavy hitter in the PlayStation. So it's really a strange time for Nintendo. Like you said, the competitors moving towards CD-based games, Nintendo sticking with the carts. You know, obviously the jump to 3D is the big. You know, there aren't going to be many shifts in gaming, like the landscape of gaming, like it was from 2D to 3D.
Right.
I know virtual reality is sort of making a little bit of a push now, but I don't think that'll ever the standard.
Online interactions are pretty crazy too, but yeah, it's just you just can't really. There's not a fourth dimension.
Yeah.
So
now I've got a question. Yeah. Now, do we want to hear my N64 Christmas? We'll close out the show with that. Actually, I think we should get into the top 5 here. Now, I've got a couple of some consolation prizes right here to hand out. I think you do as well, right?
Yeah. So I have a top 5, but my top 5 and top 4, top 3, they both have a runner-up partner with them.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to do that. Why don't you do the same thing, but just why don't you tell me the top 5 and then tell me another one of your games? And we can
okay, so you want to... All right. So I'm going to start it off here with a runner-up, and it's going to be No Mercy. WWF No Mercy for the N64.
Nice.
Now this...
Heck yeah, man.
This was a game I remember. It's one of my most turd burger moments of my life. So
I'm so excited right now.
So I asked.
You've had some doozies.
Yeah. So I asked for this game for my birthday, and I remember. I mean, I don't remember exactly what year it came out in. I could probably check real quick. It came out. So my birthday's in September. You know. So that game came out in 2000, November 17, 2000. So I guess I got it the following year for my birthday, and I remember I was like I asked for that, a couple other things, and I remember I got some gifts, and I called my neighbor. I'm like, yo, I got No Mercy, and he's like, yeah, I know you got that.
He's
you
like,
got
radical,
this.
bro.
Yeah. Well, no, he was like, yeah, I know you got No Mercy, a fishing pole, this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, I didn't get a fishing pole, and I was like, okay, I guess maybe later on, you know, and then sure enough, man, I'm playing No Mercy like a mother, and I'm just playing the crap out of that game. My dad's like, you want to go fishing? And now, knowing the piece of information I know from before, you'd think, okay, go fishing. I'm probably going to get a fishing pole for my birthday. You know, like, and dude, I was even knowing that fact, man, I'm ashamed. I was like, I'm playing my game, and I didn't go.
Oh my
goodness.
Dude,
turd burger. Like I said, not one of my proudest moments.
And then your dad's like, 90% of the reason I like this sport, and it is a sport, is that you sit around for 5 hours doing nothing.
Oh.
And it all starts with a hand-dug American worm.
But yeah.
And you're like, no, I still don't want to go. You're totally Bobby.
I felt bad. Now, the funny thing is, I don't think I've ever really told anyone that. Like...
Right.
Like that's just been something sitting with me forever, you know.
Dude, I hear you, man.
I'm airing it out for all the people to know.
Dude, kids are freaking selfish turd bags, so don't feel bad. I did stuff like that too. Everyone does stuff like that. You didn't? Oh, dang it, Peggy, we didn't teach him shame.
Yeah, no bueno.
You can't count on schools for everything. Okay, yes, funny thing is, I remember one of my childhood best friends, family friends. I went to my friend Matt's house, and actually to his brother's house, which was in Iowa City, at the University of Iowa. He was in college, and we stayed with his roommates, and they were playing. We played this game the whole time, and it was just so much fun.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh yeah, and I wasn't like right now, like I'm not into wrestling at all, like nothing whatsoever. Back then, like, you know, you kind of had to be a little bit into wrestling. It was such a big phenomenon.
Yeah,
back
that was
then.
really when it was booming.
Yeah, so, and I mean, not to say it's not booming now, but yeah, that's a good pick. So what's your
I'm going to give you a number 5 right now, right?
Okay. Yep.
Number 5 is 1080 snowboarding.
All right.
Now, to me,
yeah, man.
Yeah, this was one of those games I got early on in the. I don't know exactly when it came out, but I got the N64 at least a year late. So, for me, it was, I feel like, one of those early titles that just sunk a lot of time into, and it was just fun, man. Like snowboarding,
yeah.
It had like those. Like the super compressed audio, but like there was some voice in like the music and stuff, and it was just all muddled and you could barely hear it.
Ricky Winterborn versus Kensuke Kimachi.
But then they had like all
Ricky Winterborn.
But yeah, it was like
no, it wasn't that. It was pretty good.
It wasn't great.
On the title strings, it was pretty good. On the title screens, but in the game, it was
But then I remember it also had like a bunch of secret characters where you're like, one was like a big snowman. I believe one was just like Metal Man, where you're just like metal.
Yeah.
Oh
man, and the sequel 1080 Avalanche is so good too, because you unlock a rocket snowboard and it's so much fun. But yeah,
I just remember playing this game so much, going down the same courses and racing with my brother and stuff. Just so much fun.
Yeah, man. Me too.
Ricky Winterborn. That's so funny.
Ricky Winterborn. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, Mike Judge was actually the announcer for that game.
Really?
No.
It wouldn't have surprised me. You jerk.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with my runner-up, and that is for my runner-up for 5th place. That is Diddy Kong Racing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a second. You haven't even played it on the 64. And you'd be completely correct. I've only played it on DS for I Demand You.
Fraud! You're a fraud!
Yep. I know, but I love it. I truly do love that game. And, not many games, especially from the 64 era, that I haven't played that I play nowadays. There's not a lot where I like them still. But this game is such a well-aged game, and it's so awesome. Like, it's so cool. It does everything Mario Kart does, but better. Kind of. I mean, for single player it does. But then I think the racing isn't as tight or precise for multiplayer but I mean, it's still so good. And the single player is way better, obviously, than Mario Kart. I mean, it's something, Like, the single player actually is a world that you're in. It's cool,
Yeah, it's not.
It's what Mario Kart should be.
I love having the little hub world, even if it is just a matter of like, I'm just driving over to the next door, But it still felt so nice.
Yeah.
Like you said, it made it feel like a connected open world, even though it really, wasn't.
Exactly, and it was great. I truly love that game. So I really am glad you made me play that, because I've always wanted to.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Casey. But my number 5 is Mario Kart. See, there you go. See, you're gonna see
double fraud.
Yeah. How is that a fraud?
Well, because Diddy Kong's better.
No, I said it's almost in every way, but besides the the main racing, which is the main part.
Besides the gameplay.
Yeah. Well, I just mean
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Stuff. It doesn't feel as tight, but yeah, Mario Kart 64. Absolutely love that game. Played it to death. Never owned it, but played it at my friend's house all the time. Maybe I did own it. I don't know. I can't remember.
I remember actually.
Those are back during my drinking days.
Yeah, I actually remember. This was when we got the N64, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. We got a couple of games, and Mario Kart was one of them, and that is one of the few times in my life I can remember my mom playing video games with us.
Awesome.
It was because we had 2 TVs in that house, the one up in the main living room, and then we had like a finished basement. So down in the basement was another TV, but that one didn't have like the red, yellow, white connectors. You know, the component cables, or whatever.
Yep.
Or composite, I guess.
It just had the antenna.
Yeah, so it was like we couldn't hook up the N64 without. Yeah, we had to buy an extra cable. So we would play it upstairs, and clearly, you know, we're kids at Christmas. We wanted to play this all day, every day. So I remember playing like 4-player Mario Kart with me, my brother, my dad, and my mom. And my mom loved Moo Moo Farms.
What about Randy?
She was either not born, or no, maybe she was just an infant at that point. She was born in '96, yeah. So she was probably just 2 years old. And
even if she was old enough to play,
yeah,
she's not playing.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let her play.
She can wait outside in the snow.
Yep. Like Jimmy. Yeah. So that's Mario Kart. So, going to number 4 and your runner-up.
All right. So my runner-up, I'm going to start with James Bond, Goldeneye 64.
Ooh,
now,
heck yeah.
This one, like I said, it was tough to not put this in the top here. Again, this is just a game I got early on when I had my N64, and growing up, I had a perfect situation for like co-op / competitive like local multiplayer, you know, because my brother is like 5 years older than me, and then we had neighbors, two boys. One was a year older than me, and one was a year younger than my brother. So we're all close enough in that age range, you know what I mean, that we would all, play Bond together, all sorts of multiplayer games. It was just so easy because if my brother didn't want to play, you know, like, oh, hanging out with my neighbors, they want to play, you know. So it was perfect for that situation. Game.
The first, like, to me, first mainstream FPS, you know.
Yeah, that really, I mean, I guess you could look at like some of the computer games, maybe doing multiplayer a little better or similar, but
I just don't think of those as mainstream, you know.
But yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
awesome game.
My number 4 is Mario Golf.
Oh, a game I've never played.
Yeah, no, for me, I love sports. You know, pretty much most sports. Ya? Yeah, I sure.
I didn't realize that from your Nindy report.
Oh
video.
yeah, from the Steel City. That was so funny, David. But yeah, so Mario Golf is. I'm trying to think. I definitely played some like golf games for earlier systems. I remember we actually had Waylay Golf for N64, playing that a lot too. But Mario Golf was just that perfect combination of like a legitimate golf game, like it is a legitimate good golf game, but also arcadey enough and fun enough with the courses and challenges and stuff. And that just sort of set my love for the franchise. You know, Toadstool Tour is one of my favorite GameCube games. And then, you know, even up to World Tour for the
Spoilers.
3DS is, for our GameCube
for episode 256.
Yeah. So, no, just a great game, and man, I can't wait till Mario Golf Switch. Like, if that came out next year, man, that would be my dream come true.
Oh, baby. That's coming. It's definitely coming soon. Hope Camelot's on it, and I hope it's as good as a World Tour, because
World Tour is nice, man.
Yeah. All right, moving on to my runner-up for number 4, and that is Mario Party 3.
I didn't even think about those Mario Party games.
Yep. This is be brisk, but I mean about the same reason why I love any Mario Party, and I'm such a huge Mario Party fan. Especially the old, 1 through 5, the old...
Yeah, the originals, if you will.
Board game, awesome, yes. And
the classics.
To be honest, I've never played 6 or 7, which I feel bad about, but they're so freaking expensive. And they had like a microphone and whatnot.
I've got I think 6 is the one with the microphone. I've got that one.
I think they use it on both of them, maybe. Like, I feel like...
Are they really that expensive?
Maybe not. I think so. They're like, within like the 30 to 40 to 50.
Yeah, enough
range.
where it's like, yep, look at that, man.
Yeah.
Casey should get selling.
Yeah, you should totally. Yeah, three is really good, and it really leads me into my top 4, which is Mario Party 2.
All right, yeah.
That's my runner-up. Yeah, I've never played Mario Party the original either.
Well,
so
it's actually funny. I can remember the first time I played Mario Party was at my cousin's house. She's not really a big gamer, but especially now, you know what I mean? But I guess back then she had an N64, and we went over there for some sort of family, probably, I don't know what, I was going to say November, Thanksgiving or something like that, and she had that, and we were all playing. I was just like, oh my god, this is insane. And I remember...
It's so much fun.
That was with the games that would require you to turn the joystick in a circle, and then people would use their palms, and then they would hurt their hands. And then Toys R Us. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and then Toys R Us,
I don't remember it at the time.
Yeah, like, Toys R Us offered, like, come in with your game and prove that you have it. We'll give you, like, a little glove to protect your hand.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was from Nintendo.
Yeah, no, it makes sense to counteract that. But, no, that's Mario hilarious. Party, great games. Yeah, I think Mario Party 2 would probably be my favorite of all time, and that's probably a pretty common thought.
Yeah, I had, and that's out on the Wii U Virtual Console, and I also came out, like, I bought it on the Wii Virtual Console, and I just remember playing it with Jill, like, and it was so much fun, just like a few years ago, so nice romantic memories of Mario Party 2. But let's move on to your runner-up.
Well, this will be my last runner-up, and then we'll just get into the thick of it.
It's worked out really well.
So my runner-up is Vigilante 8.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember this one?
So, I actually didn't know that this was out on 64. I remember my friend Connor, he loved this game, or I'm assuming it's Vigilante for the Dreamcast. They had it for Dreamcast. I'm assuming it's the same series.
Yeah, I believe it's the same game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, what is it?
So pretty much it's just like a car combat game. So you get like...
Okay, it is.
Yeah, yes. You've just like... You pick your car, and there's a whole bunch of different cars with different people and backstories, you know what I mean? Like there's a big bus, and then there's, all sorts of different stuff. And they have weapons, and I believe you can even upgrade to like missiles and stuff, and it's just about like blowing up the other vehicles, and you're just plopped into these relatively
Rocket League.
Yeah. You're plopped into these relatively big areas, and just going around blowing each other up. And
dude, I'd love to play a game like that right now. You know what I mean?
And it had such good music. This game has... You should listen to... Some of the music, man, is so good, and I just remember playing this game for hours on end back in the day. And it's one of those games where I don't know if it really does have that much, like, commercial... I mean, I guess back then it was pretty popular, but, like, I don't know how much cachet it kept with people throughout the years. So it's definitely one of those games, though, to me, it's like... it'll always have a special place in my heart. But...
Nice.
Moving on to number 3... A game I have talked about in the past for sure, and that is Gauntlet Legends. And
number 3?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now, this game, again, sort of how I mentioned with the local co-op, being in the perfect situation with my neighbors and my brother, and just always sort of having 4 people or 3 other people relatively available to play whenever. This was just one of those games we all sort of fell into and was like, okay. And we played the ever-living crap out of this game, man. I remember like leveling up to like into the level 90s multiple times with different characters. And I remember one day staying home sick from school and just playing literally...
Quote, unquote.
Yeah, definitely. From like... the early morning until like 8 at night. And I remember that was also the very first time I ever watched South Park, was that day. Because I remember I was playing Gauntlet Legends, and then my brother was like, you gotta come check this out. And it's just like little preschool kids cursing on the TV, and we're like, oh my god. But yeah, Gauntlet Legends, really, really fun arcade game. And like I said, if I were to play it now single player, it'd probably be like, oh, it hit those nostalgic feelings. I don't know if I'd ever be able to replicate how special it was playing with 4 other people, or 3 other people, I should say.
You probably shouldn't.
But that will be a game when we hang out next time. We'll play that, and
awesome.
It'll maybe not the whole game, but
and then you'll grow to love it even more.
3 days later, we're like, I can't believe we're still playing.
We'll do a 36-hour stream.
Funny tidbit: my brother's character always got deleted. It was like, for some reason, his character would always get corrupt on his memory card, and he would get so angry. But good thing is you could just copy another person's character, and you could switch their class. So he would just end up copying one of my level 90s and just switching it over.
Okay, that's not that way. He's always kind of with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of works kind of cool. So, all right, so we're down to my runner-up for number 3, and that is Wave Race 64. Another game that I recently played for the first time this past year on the Wii U Virtual Console, or the past couple of years. It came out. I mean, it was either last year or the
No, I know
before,
what you mean. It's just
I played it in my house, this house, but
the time it all blends together.
This is this is a great game, kind of like in the vein of Mario Kart, and Diddy Kong. But it's on jet skis, and it has a really cool water physics, right? Really surprisingly fun gameplay even now. Like it aged very well. And this was Jill's, one of Jill's, this is kind of Jill's Gauntlet Legends from growing up. She would play that with her brothers and sisters, and so she had really nostalgic memories. And so playing with her was a lot of fun too, because she remembered all the stuff, and has really fun co-op multiplayer, and it's a great game. So, but leading me to my runner-up, which is 1080 for top 3. Which they're the brother and sister games. That's why I was kind of and not much more to say. What you said before, I absolutely adored this game. One of the few games I owned, loved playing, and I just I didn't have a lot of games, and this was one that I played all the time. And I loved snow, and I loved the sounds of the board sliding across the snow, and this going down the
soundtrack in general. It's like I can hear the music in my head now, and I haven't played that game in God knows how long,
Right.
A sign of a good game.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Well, we're up to our top 2 now.
All right, number 2, Diddy Kong Racing.
Well, there you go.
Put it in. Again, you talked a little bit about this, but to me, just a great game.
It definitely would be up there if I grew up with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic, one of my favorite Rare games.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's like I loved the Donkey Kong franchise, and all especially the country characters, you know what I mean? So this game is just super fun. I love that you have 3 different vehicles to use and operate. I guess, like you said, if we were doing runner-ups, Mario Kart, is always going to have a special place in my heart. Like I said, I remember playing with my mom and my parents, which is always fun. But Diddy Kong Racing, just what a game! I remember playing hours on end down in the basement. Just, so good, so good.
Yeah, I would love to play that. Do you have it on 64?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because that's a game you have to bring.
So I could beat you in its original form. I'm in.
Yeah, I'd love to play it on the original, because the gimmicky DS things.
Yeah. No,
they didn't ruin it, but they're annoying. But I'd love to play the original, so that's cool. And with the analog stick. So cool. So that's your top 2?
Yes, sir.
All right, my top 2. Are you ready for it?
Let's hear it.
Paper Mario.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, another game. Okay, so I don't know. Let me see. The only one that I actually played on the 64 is 1080 on this. So
that's so funny.
And my number 1. But yeah, Paper Mario. Yes, I played this on the Wii, on the Virtual Console. It is amazing, right? It's a fantastic. Basically, I think it's. I mean, it was really like a sequel to Super Mario RPG. Started off one of my favorite franchises. Funny, the humor, the graphics look amazing because that paper aesthetic was perfect for the 64 because it could do the layers really well, but the textures, like, you know, polygons not too much, but when it's paper, it worked so well. So one of those, I think, what Nintendo's best at is it makes the best out of what it has instead of trying to create something out of what it has, like more, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, yeah, I remember getting into the game, being so, you know, just, you know, that good old JRPG feeling of leveling up and getting through and getting your partners and finding out, you know, you can do completely new abilities, and the game was so charming and fun. It's just, yeah, I loved the game.
Yeah, I really love the partners in Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door. That's the one thing.
I don't know why that's not back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish they'd bring that back. Paper Mario is. I don't think I've ever completely finished Paper Mario. I actually own it. I actually have the full in box and everything. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, really fun game. I think Thousand Year Doors sort of takes a really good base from Paper Mario and sort of polishes it out to be even better.
And I have that, and I have never played it.
That is a game we absolutely have to do. I demand Wii kind of thing, because that's a game. A game I really, like I said, I haven't played it since it came out, so I'd love to go back and play that one.
Man, oh, if it came out for Switch, oh,
the HD, that would be cool.
That would be, oh man, Paper Mario Collection.
Oh God,
boom. Just
what we need, a bunch of more games.
I would play those, man. I really would. I always make time for the Mario and with like the Mario and Luigi JRPGs. Like I love playing those. I know I didn't play the last one, but that doesn't count because it's not a
new
one.
No, I know what you mean.
But Paper Jam and Dream Team and Inside Story, so good. But I know that's not the same thing. But I just mean, if it returned to those roots and having those back on the Switch.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe Nintendo's been listening to us.
They have been.
So maybe this will be the year when Paper Mario comes back in a meaningful way, and it harkens back to the old days. But
the year of Paper Luigi.
Ooh, God! All of a sudden,
what if they made a Paper Luigi game?
All of a sudden, sales start tanking. Like, oh no, he's cursed.
Oh man, dude, or Paper Zelda. I thought that would be so cool.
Yeah, Paper Zelda would be cool, but
yeah.
All right, time to move on to our top picks here now.
Oh,
I cheated. I cheated. Casey's cheating. Jimmy's cheating. First off, I guess just a quick little throw out here. Mario 64. Unlike Perry, who has put a ton of games he did not play originally on his top list here, I'm excluding I'm excluding Mario 64 because I did not play it on the N64. I actually, for the first time, I had played it on occasion at a friend's house for, maybe 10, 15-minute clips here and there. I never actually fully played it until the DS release. So I'm excluding Mario 64.
I excluded it from my top 5, Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
That was a runner-up.
Well, didn't you say 1080?
And all the other ones have been virtual consoles. Well, they've been virtual consoles.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
I mean, it's the actual ROM.
No, I get what you're saying. But yeah. Okay. So, anyway, I'm going... And then I double cheated with my number 1 here, because I did a combo of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I think one of those titles, or maybe both if you cheated like me, will probably be on your top list here as well. If I had to pick one, it's tough, but I'm probably going Majora's Mask as the ultimate kingpin of the 64 lineup.
Just to move this along in a smooth fashion, my number 1 is something that you will definitely not expect.
Doshin the Giant?
Nope. Ocarina of Time. Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely. Yeah, that would be my definite. That's up there for like favorite Zelda. You know, like it's always in the talks of, because I mean that's, you know, the game that started 3D Zeldas. You know, so, and it's so good.
Oh no, it's
still
amazing.
Playable today, and it's the, you know, there are some kind of weird obtuseness to it that people kind of forget about when they talk about it, but like, for being like a Japanese adventure game, it's so like smooth, and all of the mechanics for, you know, for it taking a 2D, and this goes for Majora's Mask as well, taking the 2D game, you know, the 2D action adventure game, and then portraying it in 3D. They just didn't master. It's just like masterfully done.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, to me, when I can go back, and for the most part, I can get through Ocarina of Time relatively easy, just knowing where to go and, you know, where everything is, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask a little more difficult, and I think that's just because the nature of, with like the timing and all the different masks and stuff. But both games are great. I can actually remember going to a friend's house, and like he must have been terrible at video games, and I remember he was like stuck in Ocarina of Time, and I just remember I slept over his house, and I picked up his game file from, I believe it was, you know, Zora's Domain into Jabu Jabu, from that area up through the water temple in like one night. I just what, that's like like a legendary run. I remember that. I was like, man, and he's like, holy crap. He's like, you're pretty good at this game. I was like, yeah, I'm just not a Jimmy. My name's not Jimmy. No, but no,
Jimmy Gibson.
These games are awesome. I mean, I haven't.
Are you really saying that these games are? It's just, it's like, yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, we all know.
Yeah, I mean, they're games I try to go back and play as often as I can.
Yep.
It's probably been a year and a half, maybe 2 years since I played. I remember I went back and I played some Ocarina of Time 3D again. And that's the best thing, is that the 3D versions of these games are so excellent that it's just so easy and convenient to play.
Yes. And they're always going to be my preferred way. Like, they're so pretty. I mean, I guess they could release... They're not going to release another Ocarina of Time, probably.
I don't think. Unless if it was some sort of compilation. Know? But at that point, I think it'd probably just be a ROM of the 64.
And I just feel like those remakes that Grezzo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those are just incredible. Like, seriously, like one of my favorite. Like, I would definitely say like Ocarina of Time 3D would be like vastly superior to Ocarina of Time, because it recreates. It doesn't do anything different. It just makes it how you remember it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like, yeah. It just it's
so good.
It smooths everything out a little bit. So yeah, it gives you that.
Yeah, and yeah. So that's the cool thing, is that there's such a nice way to play them now. Even though, and like I know, like wasn't the Majora's Mask ROM on Wii U like really janky or something?
Yeah, I believe so. It wasn't perfect.
And then, you know, Wii U emulation's awful. So, but the 3D games, couldn't recommend them. If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't played those, I don't believe you.
Yeah. If you,
they're so good.
Then you're a liar.
Yeah. Not really. There's probably a lot of people that, you know, I'd be surprised that like the people like in our gaming community that I talk to that's like, no, I don't own a 3DS. It's like, what?
Well,
you know, I own 8. Literally 8 of them.
Oh god, that's so, and it's so true. Is the funny thing?
It is. I'm looking over at my shelf right now that I have my white and black new 3DSs in box.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's crazy to think this game was released. Ocarina of Time was released November 23rd, 1998. Now, to put that into some context, someone is 19 years old and was born after Ocarina of Time came out.
Man, that's so weird.
You know? So then you also got to think, for when it's present, maybe let's say 8 years old, you would have like a good cognizant remembrance of playing through Ocarina of Time, you know? So it's like, think of all the people under that age that are alive, and it's like I'm sure plenty of people have gone back and played it afterwards, but it's, I mean, and I think it's still a great game, but it's not that feeling of, oh my god, you know, like, this is just came out and it is now, unbelievable.
Yeah. I played it on, I mean, you can play it on every console since 64, you know, on the GameCube, on the Wii, and the Wii U, and not the Switch yet, but you will.
Yeah, if the Virtual Console comes.
Virtual Console, yeah.
But,
yeah.
No, just, definitely some great games we just talked about right there. Definitely some great games.
I'd say so, yeah. The 64, I always think the 64 as the console with not a lot of games, which it is, but there's a lot of really good games.
You know what it is? It's one of those, when you look back on it, when it's all said and done, you can look at it and be like, man, there are really a lot of great games. But yeah, when they're coming out at a clip of like one every couple of months, I guess, during the time, you know, when it was present, it was
like 6 months. Yeah, totally.
It was sort of like the Wii U at the end there, where it was like, oh, we get a good release every couple of months, you know.
Yeah, and not every couple of minutes.
Yeah,
like on the Switch. God. Like, literally, like, I check my email and I get, this new game is coming to, hey, which we didn't mention, SteamWorld Heist is coming to Switch.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to throw that in there.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Another great game to play.
But that's an example of what I mean, of how it is now compared to how it was at 64. Just because that whole convoluted mess of, it was supposed to be the PlayStation, but then, you know, the whole disc. I mean, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but
no,
like,
I know.
You know, the disc, they wanted to go with discs, and Nintendo didn't because of loading and for other reasons
and monies.
Just a weird time. Yeah,
I think it was mostly they didn't want to get bootleg games, but I think a big part of it at least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The discs, yeah, totally. Like, yeah, I mean, how different Nintendo is now. You know, like, just a completely different, like, they run the company so much different now.
Well, I think, you know, it's tough to look back at the Wii U days, and obviously it was a very hard time financially. I mean, not like Nintendo was ever going to fold or anything, but, you know, they weren't making money, they were losing money. But I think ultimately that was necessary to get them where they are with the Switch now. You know what I mean? To swallow their pride and go, we can't just rely on things that have worked in the past. We need to sort of be evolving with the landscape. So hopefully they can continue to keep pumping out games at a good rate and bringing and doing things people want. Like, please give us some themes and some eShop music.
Themes and Virtual Console.
Honestly, I don't even need the Virtual Console right now. There's too many games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we don't even have our online structure yet. Do you understand that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I haven't even thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how little I care. Like, that's how packed the whole thing
I'd
is.
like Rocket League to just take over the online landscape thing. Just make that work. But anyway, we're getting along in the tooth here. Now,
yeah, we are.
I've got one final little N64 story that we can chime in with some Christmas, and we wrap out the show there. Now,
I love Christmas.
Now, picture little Casey. His neighbor's got a rockin' N64. They also have a PlayStation 1, so they're booming over there with video games. We're still stuck with a Super Nintendo. We want N64.
Nerd.
You know, we were ready for the N64. We asked for it for Christmas. It's all we want. Wake up Christmas morning, beautiful Christmas morning. I'm assuming
snowy.
Probably not. I don't remember any snow. I don't remember the particulars. I'm making that.
Jimmy wasn't covered in snow.
No snow on Jimmy. But we go through. We open up all our gifts, you know. And mind you, I am very young at this point. Like I said, I guess if the N64 came out, 96, 97, I'm probably like 8, maybe 8 or 9 years old. And we open up the gifts. No N64. You know, it's like,
Santa smells Christmas really stunk. I got nothing that I like, my gifts were all just junk.
Boxes full of clothes,
CDs no one knows. When I wanted something for my Nintendo 64. Zelda's great, Turok 2, South Park would be fine. How about Rogue Squadron? That game should be mine.
Make up for a lame Christmas. Get the hits you missed on N64.
Mom and Dad, I'm so sad.
Deflated. We were deflated. And me and my brother on the couch with sour pusses on our face. And grant you, we were being ungrateful little turd burgers. You know what I mean? It's like we probably had a very great Christmas still. My mom's a saint when it comes to Christmas. She's always hooked it up. But so we're sitting there sort of sourpussed, like, no N64. And then my mom's like, you guys,
there is no Santa
She's
Claus.
like, you guys suck. And she goes in and pulls out a big old box out of the bedroom. She goes, I was going to bring it to you later. And then we ripped that puppy open, man, and
No, hold on. Was she like legitimately upset?
Oh no, she was like, okay. Playful, like, you guys suck, you know, like.
Oh, okay. I thought like it was like
no. She was gonna be like, oh, look what I found. Santa must have dropped this in the other room or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, we pop that puppy open. We've got N64. I believe we got Mario Kart, Goldeneye, and I think it was Brett Favre's Quarterback Club '98.
That's perfect for a little Cassie Gibbons.
Well, back then I wasn't into football as much, actually. It might have been one of the Madden games. It was a football game, because I remember the very next day after that, I woke up at like 5:30.
Ooh, I forgot about Blitz.
I don't think it was Blitz, yeah. But it was, I woke up at like 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and I was like, oh, baby, I'm going to get to go play that freaking N64 for hours before Brett wakes up. And sure enough, who do you think's sitting there playing freaking football? And I'm like, you son of a gun.
Randy.
Yeah, little like half-year-old Randy. I'm like, damn it. But yeah, I remember playing N64 for days after that. Back when you had that big, beautiful Christmas vacation.
Oh, isn't that great?
Now I got work the next day, you know. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Stay young, people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember how I got a 64. I think my brothers bought it.
Good.
There's my story.
Yeah, good story, Perry. And on that note, no, but seriously, this episode's been going on. Yeah, N64 special, 64 episodes of the Talk Nintendo podcast. Who would have thought it?
Honestly, I thought.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, once we got going, it did. I mean, we're gonna hit 664 at some point, and then maybe we'll revisit the topic.
Who would have thought we would have? Yeah, 64 DD, whatever that translates to, and we'll do it.
And yeah, we'll both import and buy DDs.
Yeah. Yep. I promise you that.
Me too. Gentleman's handshake over the internet. Shake, 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 shake. Alrighty. Well, beautiful. On that note, I think we should bring it to a close here. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo POD. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our Christmas special coming up next week, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, try not to drown in all those Switch games.
Ricky Winterbourne.
Blue Eyes White Dragon and the Red Eyes Black Dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you slurping up what I'm spitting out?
I'm trying.
Versus.
Got hit by that guy. Oh, and he knocked me right into the pit, you know? And it's like, ah.
Yeah. That's the pit.
Yeah, it sure is.
Kensuke Kimachi.
Barely hear it. But then they had like all like
Ricky Winterbourne.
But yeah, it was like
Ricky Winterbourne.